Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the thing. So do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo.
I forgot I did that. Hold on a second, my bad.
That's my favorite show.
We are live! Oh! NBA free agency in less than an hour. How are we doing?
What up, Deuce?
Hey.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey, Jebediah. What's up, dude? You been saying? Okay. Oh, we are going to be live, part of one of the fun traditions. Being live for free agency and the trade deadline. We will preview it, and at 3 o'clock Pacific time, we should start seeing deals happen left and right, and we'll get through them together. There's so many storylines to get to as Morgan is just eating an ice cream cone. Peak summertime. There's so many questions, Morgan.
Like why there's chocolate on my shirt?
Yes. Why did you not get me an ice cream cone?
She's so... Oh, man. So many questions.
Well, here we go. All right, that's working. This is working. And we will be alive for the next few hours going over every single move that happens at the start of NBA free agency. I'm off to a strong start. Big question right now is what the hell is happening in the capital city of Sacramento, Morgan Reagan?
And what's happening?
Well, they've been tied to Dennis Schroeder. Kings need a point guard. Okay, Dennis Schroeder, stopgap, all right. But they're also tied to Russell Westbrook, and then some people making the case that could they be adding both? Okay. And they haven't made a trade yet. They have a lot of guards. Why is Morgan laughing? We will find out together what is going down. Shams Charania said earlier today that it could be big tonight in the NBA. Could we see some sign-in trades? Could we see some other trades? Could we see Jonathan Kuminga on the move? The Kings are one of the teams interested in Jonathan Kuminga. We have learned some things too, things we are monitoring. DeAndre Ayton was bought out. The final year of his deal with Portland, $35 million. A lot of noise right now that he could be potentially headed to the LA Lakers. That's not all, Morgan Reagan.
That's not all.
How about the Memphis Grizzlies? Sounds like there's some smoke regarding free agent guard Ty Jerome potentially going to the Memphis Grizzlies. We've seen Bobby Portis go back to Milwaukee. 3 years, $44 million. James Harden back with the Clippers, 2 years, $81.5 million. The T-Wolves locking up Naz Reid and Julius Randle, but where could Nickeil Alexander-Walker go tonight? We will find out together. Where could Malik Beasley go besides jail? We will find out together. Right here on the Deuce and Mo free agency extravaganza. Oh my goodness.
Hey, that's sad, not funny.
What?
The Beasley stuff.
I hope it's not true.
I know. I don't know why I had to put that in. Hey, that's sad, not funny.
So we will be here together all day long. Morgan,
Yeah.
we have seen a lot the last couple of days of free agents re-signing with their teams, new deals, but no crazy movement yet. The Kings have been slightly busy. They picked up Isaac Jones's deal. And then I think there was actually a huge protest in Sacramento when the Kings picked up Keon Ellis's deal last night.
Yeah, there were
yesterday.
some protests going on happening.
People not happy about that. I don't know if Keon's happy about that one either. So the Kings pick up Keon Ellis. They haven't extended him yet. There's some thought, hey, let's rip up the final year of that deal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's extend him, keep him at a good rate. Like this guy is a premier 3 and D guy in the NBA. But it seems like because of where Sacramento's at with their contracts, they're like, can we just pay you later? Because we need this money to address the point guard situation. No one wants any of our deals. They don't want Levine. They don't want Sabonis. No one wants DeMar.
Yeah.
Like,
Name him.
Name them. So the Kings are in this interesting spot. And now we're hearing this news of Schroeder, Westbrook. Where are you at as we are 50 minutes out or whatever from free agency?
Dude, I'm just chilling, eating an ice cream cone. Every year I'm excited. Let me state that first and foremost. Like, I'm excited for NBA free agency. For the Kings, I don't know. I'm just
My perspective
here
on the
so I don't
Kings
get fined.
situation is like, look, how could you have high expectations for free agency? I'm just going, you have a flawed roster. We know the roster's flawed. We know it. But Scott Perry takes over this team and you get the keys to the house and it's like, hey, I know you want to change this, but you actually can't right now.
Yeah.
You can't. Oh, okay. Well, how am I supposed to establish a culture and identity? And it's challenging. Like, I don't think other teams are interested in what the Kings have. Now, things could change, but that's why you've heard like Malik Monk's name out there, Devin Carter's name out there. Who else? It seems like the Kings are just open for business in general, but most of the stuff that the Kings have, teams are going, I don't want Levine's $48 million and another 40 whatever next year. I don't want Sabonis's deal. DeMar makes 25. It's partial guarantee next year. I don't want that deal.
Yes, but I mean, we've also heard rumblings around some of these deals that people have been interested in. So just because you don't hear loud rumblings at this time doesn't mean that there's still not intrigue around it. But I think ultimately, when you look at the track record for the Sacramento Kings front office, even the last front office, even hearing all these wonderful things about Monty McNair as a basketball mind, blah, 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 blah. But then also hearing things about just relationships and how maybe, I don't know how to put it. Like, he was used in some ways. Like, I mean, you go to the Spurs situation, you look at that whole deal for De'Aaron and you're like, wait, what? Why? You know, like every time like I take a step back, I go, really? Like you couldn't get this back, or you couldn't do that, or you just couldn't do this. And it just felt like that was the time when you had one of the main assets, one of the better looking contracts and players on the team with De'Aaron Fox, and you just threw that out the window for something else in Zach LaVine and his contract.
That kind of pigeonholes you in this situation.
And you knew it was going to pigeonhole you. We've track record history shows in the NBA, this is what happens with those big contracts. Unless it's like Chris Paul. I feel like Chris Paul has found a few ways to, go here and figure it out in different places. And when I say that, though, Chris Paul showed toward the end of his career, even when other teams or people might have not believed in him, that he could shift his role as a veteran player and still add so much different value, even at a high price. And so, I don't know, like how I feel right now about the Kings in free agency. I think with the new front office, I'm just in a very I don't fucking know.
It's clear they needed a point guard. And you look at who's out there. It's not like the sexiest names in free agency. I like Schroeder, like him.
I don't know why people are getting weird about Dennis Schroeder. Like,
because
it's just
I
like
think
that's where you're the Sacramento Kings. You're the Sacramento Kings.
But it's like, why not go for a cheaper option? That's kind of their counter to that. And I think
what's the cheaper option?
Like someone's mentioning Trey Mann today. He played like 13 games last year, young guy. Someone's mentioning like Trey Jones. Like there are other alternatives for sure. And I think there's some people that are like, hey, we're not going to be very good. Like we're just going to be stuck in the middle. It's like, yeah, you kind of are. And I that's how I kind of approach, unless something crazy happens in the next week or so with trades or signings or whatever. Like, yeah, they're kind of stuck at the moment. Like it is so challenging to move a deal that's like 48 million. It's even more challenging when that player is flawed. Like so you're in this spot where it's like, okay, how do we maximize what we have right now? Let's be competitive. Let's establish some culture and identity. Let's just see what this kind of looks like.
You're also the Sacramento Kings in free agency. So even when you talk about some of these names, I mean, we have to remember you can't use threats to make people sign with you. You can throw out more dollar bills and different signs, but there's players out there who want to play with an established system or culture or an organization that hasn't gone through so many different coaches. Like, that's just like where we're at. I can sell the shit out of my city. I love Sacramento more than like any city in the whole damn world. Like, it's wonderful. The facilities, I can sell the shit out of all that. But when you think about some of these names, when people just do go to like, but why can't you get this? Or why are they upset? Or when people are upset about Schroeder or anything else, I'm almost to a point when you look at the Sacramento Kings roster right now, I go, what's sexy about it? Where you just have people run into you.
Yeah. I mean, it's never going to be a free agent destination one. But like with the Schroeder one or even Westbrook, it's like, look, I'm not jumping for joy over those options. The Kings did not have a point guard after trading Fox last year. But it's clear in those two specifically, just those two, whether they sign one of them or for some reason would sign both. I don't understand the signing both of them. That doesn't make sense.
Well,
that one does not make sense to me, but we're not going to get there. I'm big.
It gives me anxiety.
I'm not getting pre-mad. I don't believe in getting pre-mad. But just taking those guys for what they are and what they do, it's two guys that play hard. They play relentless. They play fast. They want to get in the paint. Like, it's the style in which the Kings want to play. It doesn't mean, like, obviously Russell Westbrook, who turns 37 years old in November, he's not going to be here forever. It's a short-term thing. Schroeder to me, it's like a 2-year deal. If you end up getting him, if he ends up signing with the Kings, it's like, okay, like, yeah, it's not great, but like, he's a point guard that's been around. He knows how to run a team. He's not the sexiest name out there, but like, this would be his 10th team. I think you would be able to trade him down the road too. If like, hey, you're like, hey, we're ready to go in a different direction, whatever. But I think you could do a lot worse than that. I think at the point of attack as a defender, he's kind of a pest. He's kind of a dickhead out there. Like, he's kind of annoying. Like, you kind of need some of that too. And so I don't know. I look, I don't have like these high hopes for Sacramento, but I also think from their perspective, I bet you their thought process is this. Hey, last year, what a fucking clusterfuck we had.
Yep.
Okay. Drama galore. Coach fired. Fox gone. Doug Christie taking over. Coaches that were like not vibing with the Mike Brown guys. No point guard.
Name it.
Go figure it. Oh, and you're trying to fit in Levine, and then Sabonis gets hurt, so Monk gets hurt. It's like, good luck. And I bet you, and this is too optimistic for my liking, is like, hey, we get some stability at the point guard spot.
Yeah.
We make a couple of other trades.
Yeah.
Get a little more athletic and add some size. Like, who's to say we can't be better than last year and we have stability with the coaching staff? That's probably the thought process.
And that right there, stability with the coaching staff, and even like, I'm not going to use the C word, culture. I'm not going like, it's not even about establishing that year one, whatever, but an identity on the floor, an identity as like, just like you put basketball players in a room and you go, what did you all learn when you were little kids on the floor? Oh, that even if you can't shoot, you can't dribble, you can't do this, you can hustle after the ball, you can dive for loose balls, you can hustle, you can play defense, to the best of your ability with your strength and your effort, your mindset, all these different things. You do those things, you can see success on the basketball floor, even with the hodgepodge of players that you have. Now, finding that buy-in is just a little bit harder when you don't have the right players or pieces or personalities doing that buy-in. I do believe, though, with you, I know you're going to get to that. I do believe, though, with you, with this roster, there are some good enough pieces and younger pieces or pieces that are willing to buy in or however you want to put it, with like an anchor in Domas Sabonis, who has that type of mentality. Keegan Murray has the ability to do it on both ends of the floor. Keon Ellis as well. Like, there are things on this team that if you plug in the right players, yes, they can do something in the Western Conference.
We are 45 minutes away from the start of NBA free agency. We're going to be here for the journey. And over the next 45 minutes, talk about some possibilities, look around the league, talk some Kings, and get to people in the chat. Because to your point, like, I think the pushback is like, I don't care about being competitive and having like a first round exit. Like, I want to be in a situation where you get a good draft pick, because in Sacramento, in a small market,
Yes.
getting a draft, like a top 5 pick would be better than picking 13 every year. Like,
Yep.
let's put ourselves in a good position. But again, this is my pushback, and this is something I got in the chat. Jas says, short term to what end? First round exit? Thunder strategized for the long term, and it paid off. So Oklahoma City, you're using the most extreme example, Oklahoma City, right? How did Oklahoma City do this? Oklahoma City had Paul George in his prime and a team that was desperate to we just got Kawhi, we got Trey. That's what you do. The Kings don't have Paul George. They don't have a Russell Westbrook. Well, they might have a Russell Westbrook in an hour or so, but when they traded Westbrook at OKC, they had assets to move. And look, there's some luck involved too. I don't think Presti that day when he traded George was like, hey, dude, I think SGA is going to be MVP in the future. No, but those are the risks you take. You get all those picks back. It's building blocks.
Yeah.
Sure. If that was out there, I bet you Scott Perry would love to hop on that. But the reality is the Kings don't have that. No one is lining up going, hey, dude, we just signed this big free agent. We think Levine's the missing piece. We're going to offer 4 first-round picks for him. It's not. Like, if the Kings want to get off some of these deals that they have, they're probably going to have to attach assets to them.
Yeah.
And I say, fuck that. Like, I'm not attaching first-round picks to Levine's deal to just get off the deal. It's like, no, you got to deal with it. I'm sorry. This is the reality.
Figured out. And
Yeah.
even if it means at times that he has different minutes on the floor because it doesn't work with your system or what you're trying to do out there, then do it. I'm not right now with this Kings roster and where it's going or where it's going to be. I'm not all about like, oh, every player, you need to find the balance of players being happy and playing basketball well. No, like, we've seen that happen far too many times where it's like, oh, nobody likes how much they run under Mike Brown, or, oh, they don't like this style of play or this offense, and it wants to simplify. There's just so much complaining, so many cooks in the kitchen, so many like little things where it's like, let a coach, let a GM, let these people do their things. And I feel like with Scott Perry, Vivek, their relationship, I think it can go in that direction. I think it can be a very positive thing, but it's like, we're in year 1 of it. We're in month 3 of it.
And you're asking a fan base that has been through hell to be like, hey, dude, can you be patient while we figure this out? It's like, patient?
Yeah.
What?
No.
You know what I mean? So I understand the frustration. So I hear what everyone's saying. I think if you just take on the server like someone like Schroeder, you say you give him the 2-year, $28 million. It seems like a lot. And I remember when that rumor first came out last week, I did a clip on it. I'm like, God, $14 million. That's that's a full mid level for Dennis Schroeder. I wish you could make it cheaper than that. You know, I think part of it is like you're going to have the Sacramento tax, especially when you're not a good team. He's coming in to be a starter. And then I started looking at other mid level guys over the last couple of years. It's like D'Anthony Melton got it from the Warriors. You had Gabe Vincent get it from the Lakers.
Okay.
Even Schroeder had the mid level from Toronto a couple of years ago. So it's not like outrageous. It's a couple of years. It's not ideal. In the perfect world for me, Schroeder is the guy that plays the role. He played in Detroit last year when they signed him.
Yeah.
And when he got waived by Utah, he goes there. He's
Ivy went
coming off the
down.
bench. Yeah. Ivy goes down and he's like coming off the bench, but then he's like closing games and coming up with big defensive plays and playing with an edge and hitting shots. Like, that's the best role for him. I don't view him as like, dude, hey, the Kings had a point guard today and they solved their point guard dilemma for years to come. Nobody thinks that. But you know what you do? You need a point guard. You need something. So I'm not mad at it. I think he's a solid player in this league and it'd be fine. The Westbrook one would be more of an entertainment value to me. I think the thing I do like about Westbrook, players love him. Players love him. But we also understand what comes with Westbrook. He's 37 years old. Going to be 37 years old.
Wow.
he's going to do things out there that you love. I think the fans would dig him at sometimes, and then it's going to be like, oh, Sabonis finds Westbrook backdoor open layup, clank, or like smoking layups in transition or taking a bad three. You're going, what are you doing? Or falling asleep off ball with his off ball defense. You're going to see those moments, but you're also going to see moments where it gets downhill, right? Pushing the pace, making the hustle plays. The guy has one speed. He practices hard. He plays hard. And I think, again, going back to like, hey, we're trying to shift the culture here. You need guys that are going to like bring that to the table, even if it's in the short term.
Yeah. Before we started the free agency watch party, I think I was like really excited. I don't know why. I wasn't thinking of the Kings, and I was just thinking of like NBA free agency, and I was like, yeah. Let's go.
I'm excited for today for all that.
Same. But then as soon as you because I don't think you and I have been. We've been talking some Kings with each other off air. There's been a lot of Valkyries games lately, like all the different things. And it's really, really just like soaking it in. I find myself like getting a little depressed. So
well, let's get an update. This is from Chris Haynes. Someone just sent this to me on Twitter. Here's what Chris Haynes had to say about the Sacramento Kings.
And so there are a few teams that have interest in Russell Westbrook. The Sacramento Kings, the New York Knicks, and I was told the Sacramento Kings, they will have a meeting. I believe it will be a phone conversation with Russell Westbrook to try to lure him to Sacramento. Sacramento, we talked about this before. They are in dire need of acquiring a point guard. They need a starting point guard, and they would like a quality backup point guard as well. So they're going to do all that they can to shore up that spot. But yeah, Russell Westbrook. So
that's what Chris Haynes had to say. And I could say this. We heard weeks ago that Russell Westbrook has interest in coming to Sacramento, and not from people in Sacramento. There's interest there. And you're going, what? Why? So Westbrook was in Denver last year, opts out of the final year of his deal, which would have paid him like $3.2 million. He's like, all right, I'm going to go somewhere else, make a little more money or see what's up. Sacramento's a starting point guard position open. And that's appealing. It's also appealing to him that he could stay in California. He's a SoCal guy. Like, he's got a lot of connections. He wants to be home, closer to home later in his career.
And what I do love about Russell Westbrook, and like even during this time toward the end of his career, and you see like former teammates or players sticking up for him, and the number one thing that you just hear is how he's obsessed with the game. And I think in Sacramento, the fan base is obsessed with the game, obsessed with the team, like obsessed with basketball, all the different things. It's something that attracts me to him, and I guess just to the whole situation. And if I'm going to like put it in this lighter space for myself, because it is where this organization and this team is. And if Russell Westbrook ends up being the starting point guard and Dennis Schroeder is coming off the bench, but it's more than you had at the end of last year.
Dude, it just in
that position.
Can we just say though how funny it would be if it's opening night and it's like Westbrook, Levine, DeMar, Keegan, Sabonis.
My jaw just dropped.
What is this? What is this hodgepodge like group of players?
I'm gonna.
And I understand it's short term, but it's just like, really? God, man! In 2013, that shit would have hit, dude. Westbrook, DeRozan, Levine, Sabonis.
Well,
even a young kid, Keegan Murray, when he was like 10 in 2013. Like, it'd be fun, You
know what frustrates me most about last year too is when. Beginning of last year, when you and I were ecstatic about DeMar DeRozan. And I think and by the way, like, is still just a bucket getter, right? Can do so many different things. Certain situations, certain roles, certain rosters are just not going to work for certain styles of play. And where DeMar is in his life and his career, like, if he's still here next year, like, hell yeah. Find a way to make it work, whatever. But it just sucks that he can't play defense on the other end, right? Like, his IQ, his defensive IQ can kick in. He can get a deflection. Like, he can get there when his effort turns on, like, it's there. But like, when it's not, if there's one guy out of 5 that aren't playing, it's like shit breaks down. That's what you guys are best at. I mean, should be best at, because you don't have a flowing offense on the other end. You don't have an identity of pushing the pace and running the floor. Like, you got to pick something going into this summer after free agency and everything.
Yeah, and I think it would help Levine, because in my head, Levine's here. Right?
Yeah.
Levine's here.
Yep.
It would help Levine to have some sort of option at point guard who is willing to push and run.
I agree.
And I think that would be beneficial for sure. With DeMar, I just go, his deal's interesting, right? Like 25-ish million this year. And then next season, it's a partial guarantee. It's like 10 million he's owed. I think that could be more appealing, toward the trade deadline. I mean, who's to say Miami doesn't want him? There was something today I read on social media, and there's so much shit out there. So many rumors we'll go over that. Like, hey, yeah, Miami could still have interest in DeRozan. But I've been suspicious of that. Just go, well, why? Like,
Yeah.
What are they how they feel around him? So who knows what that ends up looking like? But it just, you look at this group, and it's like, okay, so let's play the extreme for a second.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Well, let's just not play the extreme. Let's just say you add Westbrook or Schroeder. Like, okay, like you just have so many guards. Like what's it mean for Keon? And we haven't talked enough about that yet. Keon Ellis people are saying he's not happy because they picked up his option. He wanted a new deal. And I don't blame him for that.
Yeah.
Because, this game's fragile. If Keon Ellis gets hurt next year and it's like he misses out on a shit ton of money when he should have gotten paid, that would suck for him. And he deserves it because he's played really strong basketball. What a developmental story. And now you still have the option to extend him, but you have to make some moves to tinker to get to that point. Okay, nothing crazy. My alerts are on. This is going to be a lot of the show today. This is just one minor thing. Mike Brown will have a second meeting with the Knicks for their head coaching job and has emerged as a strong candidate.
Cool.
Mike Brown.
Good for him.
So, for Keon, if I'm Sacramento, let me take a step back. If I'm Sacramento, I want to put some of my young guys in situations this coming season where they have more of an offensive load to carry.
Sure.
Like Keegan Murray, I don't need anyone taking shots away from Keegan Murray. Nope. I don't need anyone taking shots away from Keon Ellis. Like, I need to lean into those guys more. And right now, with what the Kings are potentially adding and what they still have on the roster, you're like, how is it going to change for those two?
Yeah.
That's bad for them.
It's very bad. I say it's very bad. You never know really how it's going to be, but you do kind of know, right? Like you would love for some of the veteran players to make those adjustments in their roles. And I think over the last couple of years, Russell Westbrook has been humbled in different roles and positions that he has been put in. And I think that's been so fantastic for him in his growth as a player. And I don't know if that mentality shifts if he's told, like, you get to be, the starting point guard, you get to be that veteran leader, you get to be blah, 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 blah. So then it is more reverts back to the game that he is used to, that he gets excited about. He has the ball in his hands and everything too. I don't know how all that's going to work. And especially with a first year head coach in Doug Christie.
And it just goes back to the larger issue. Okay. The Levine deal just really put them in a tough spot completely. That's all there is to it. They should have waited to trade Fox. And I'm not trying to spiral right now. I'm going to say
spiraling.
I know, but it's just Keon. You probably want a guy like him starting on your team, and if not, playing a significant role off the bench. What's that look like going into next year if you do have a situation where you've got Westbrook or Schroeder, and then you also have Levine still here, right? Who knows about Malik? You still have Devin Carter. Like, maybe those things change and it opens up some time, but it's got to be tough. And look, Keon could be happy again if he gets an extension and maybe they clear the roster issues up and balance things out to give him that opportunity. But now you're also in a situation that if the extension doesn't come, or maybe he goes, I don't want the extension, that he just dips in as an unrestricted free agent next summer. God. And you lose a guy that
you
was
developed.
Undrafted, two-way guy, got a guarantee. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And that's what you don't want to get into. And it's tough. It's a really tough situation. And it all stems back to you added someone at a position in Levine who's, yes, a talented player, who's a really good shooter, 50% from the field, 40% from three-point land. He can get hot, all those things. But his deal is so complicated to move. Happy free agency day.
Happy free agency day.
Let's uplift a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't need a spiral yet.
Okay.
We can have some fun. How about we go over some of the rumors from Mark Stein that he dropped a little bit ago in his Substack?
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I was just taking a breath.
Why?
Because I was spiraling on the inside.
Hey, people in the chat, let's not spiral today. Also,
Yeah.
can you help us out? Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. All it does is help our channel grow so more people, basketball sickos around the basketball universe, check in with our content and check out our free agent special.
Give me some updates.
Okay, let me pull them up. This is from this morning from Mark Stein. Great Substack. Highly recommend you subscribe. This is from Jake Fisher and Mark Stein, who dropped a shit ton of information talking about the fact that there's growing anticipation that the Memphis Grizzlies poised to secure a commitment from Ty Jerome. Also talking about completing a renegotiation and extension with Jaren Jackson and maintaining sufficient flexibility to match offers to restricted free agent Santi Aldama. In addition, it's well chronicled. Interest in Dorian Finney-Smith. Houston wants to explore the feasibility of signing Luke Kennard. Houston's trying to go all in right now. Finney-Smith opted out of the final year of his $15 million deal, and there's talk that Finney-Smith could be getting a 4-year deal from the Houston Rockets, who also landed KD, who locked up Jabari Smith long-term. Houston is going for it in the NBA's Western Conference. The Hawks and Nuggets, sources say, have interest in Luke Kennard. Atlanta landing both Kennard and Nickeil Alexander-Walker would mark noted boost to its wing rotation, according to Mark Stein.
Okay.
If the Lakers lose Dorian Finney-Smith, they are expected to show interest in D'Anthony Melton. Remember, he tore his ACL last year after signing with the Golden State Warriors. The Lakers are scheduled to have conversations early in free agency with Brooke Lopez and Clint Capella, and will naturally also have interest in DeAndre Ayton once he clears waivers.
Interesting.
Clippers have been categorized as a strong potential destination for Clint Capella, too, after he's now a free agent. On Schroeder, the 31-year-old, as they've reported for several days, is expected to come to a swift agreement with Sacramento once free agency officially begins. The Kings are believed to be preparing a 2-year deal for Schroeder at an estimated $28 million. That's not the only guard on the move. D'Angelo Russell looks like he could be going to the Dallas Mavericks. The most that the Mavs can offer is a 2-year, $12 million deal. So we'll see what that looks like. Remember, Kyrie out for a long time next year. Most of next season, they need a guard. League sources say veteran Al Horford will be a top target of the Golden State Warriors as they try to deal with their center situation. And a lot of eyeballs on Jonathan Kuminga. Anthony Slater saying, hey, it's Miami and Chicago. But Mark Stein says, hey. May take some time. Could be a slow-moving process. But Kuminga has interest from Miami, Chicago, Sacramento, and New Orleans. Possible sign and trade scenarios. What could that look like? There is strong expectation that Trey Jones will resign with Chicago. The Bucks are actively working on a trade to ship out Pat Connaughton. Add the Pelicans, Knicks, and Wolves to an ever-growing list of teams that are in the market for veteran guards. The Knicks, in fact, are said to be a possible destination in addition to Sacramento for Russell Westbrook.
Russell
For Russell Westbrook. Knicks also expected to join Orlando in registering interest in Tyus Jones. Sources say Washington has continued to gauge the trade market on Marcus Smart and Kelly Olynyk, who just became a wizard recently.
You're a wizard now, Kelly.
And that's it. That's it around the National Basketball Association. The Jonathan Kuminga stuff. Can we want to talk to some Kuminga Kings? We did it the other day, too.
Is this going to make you... Well, yeah, sure.
What were you going to say? Why do you have that smirk?
Well, Deuce the other day, like, literally looked like a mad scientist. And then is like, Morgan. And I'm like, what jump scare? Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And he's like, I just watched 1,000 Jonathan Kuminga plays. Literally 1,000?
I don't know if it's literally 1,000, but I was on Synergy.
Probably
I was looking
100.
offense, defense. No, probably like 500.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So thank you. Like, insane. And he's like, really though, really understanding what he could do, what he could add, and then forced me to watch several of these plays, which, by the way, they're highlights, like great plays. We know what Jonathan Kuminga can do. He's young. He can play defense. He can get to the basket. He's a willing cutter, all these different things. Great. Now, you do see, though, before you go into all the good, all of the, I don't want to say issues, the challenges that have been there with him and maybe the coach or the organization or whatever it is that has caused some of that drama, right? Between the rift or however you want to put it. And that to me is alarming because when you're on a team like Sacramento, you can't afford any toxic energy. You just can't.
Can I say one of the things that has given me slight pause on Kuminga today?
Oh, okay. What?
The teams that are interested in him. Chicago, Sacramento, New Orleans, and I guess Miami. But you're just
That's
like,
what gave me the pause.
These losing ass teams want Kuminga? Where are the like awesome teams? Like, dude, we got to figure out a way to get this guy, 22-year-old 6A. That's what gives me pause. Look, the Kuminga one, I get it, but here's how I look at Jonathan Kuminga. If he's, a guy that the Kings could ultimately land, it would have to be a sign and trade. And, you start thinking about what that could look like. Malik Monk maybe going to Golden State? That would be weird to see Malik in a Warriors uniform.
Yes.
And that would be a tough one for sure. But for the Kings, we just talked about like you're lacking some hope. You're looking around. You're talking about adding another guy over 36. You already have one of those. Kuminga represents slight hope because he's 22 years old, 6'8", athletic freak. And you see the glimpses and you go, there's something there. And when you think 22, you think, oh, can you mold him? And the reality is Steve Kerr is not some known as some beacon of
Developmenting.
Yes, that's what I was going with. He's just not a guy with some like strong reputation for ushering in and developing young talent. The guy, I think he gets irritated with Kuminga's mistakes, and Kuminga makes mistakes out there. He doesn't have the patience for it. They're trying to win all this stuff, and I don't think Kuminga's always been given a fair shake. I go back to last December. Kuminga was playing some of the best basketball of his career. He gets injured. When he comes back, it was actually a game against Sacramento. Jimmy Butler's there. His role completely changes. He was in and out of the rotation. When he was out there at times this year, you saw a guy that could take over, get downhill, get into the post, a little turnaround, super explosive, attacking off the dribble, some really talented defenders and rim protectors. But there are all the things you talk about too. Inconsistent three-point shooter. Does he make his teammates better?
That was the main thing I said, yeah.
And then defensively, I think on ball, when he is guarding his man, he's a really good defender. But when you start talking about team defense and the engagement, there's sometimes you're going to be in scramble mode as a defense. You see it all the time, right?
Yep.
I think in those situations,
there's no feel.
He gets scrambled.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, where do I need to go? And there's a late closeout. There's a missed rotation, or those are things that you go, they can't happen. But then I always go back to, he's 22 years old. If you give him like 20, 25 million a year for a few years, what's the harm? It's not going to set you back decades.
No, in 22, like at 22 years old, sometimes all 22-year-olds are not created equal, right?
Yeah, like I'm 23 now, and go ahead. Keep going.
Even you doing like that weird joke that you do, like it's so old dad joke of you to always do, to throw the ages. You throw like very young ages that's like, obviously you're not 25. What are you looking at? You looking away?
It's just outrageous, dude.
No,
it's my birthday week, and I just want number one, I want you to show me some like
respect,
admiration,
got it,
appreciation, love, and same with the chat. Like, this is my birthday week. We don't need to be taking shots at old Deucey.
It's kind of fun. Anyway, old Deucey. There we go. But being 22 years old, and there's 22-year-olds that are absolutely moldable. Now, when it comes to
what were you doing at 22? Getting blacked out, being dumb.
I was still,
working at Bubba Gumps, and look at you. 20 years later,
19,
20
asshole.
years later, you're a different person.
How many years later?
20, right?
You're so insane. So
thank you, Mitchell, for happy 25th birthday.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay,
guys.
everyone,
that.
knock it off.
It's actually next week.
So my whole point to this though is that when you have a feel as like a GM or a coach, like that player doesn't have different skill sets as a coachable player, right? They aren't good at taking in information and doing something with it. When you have that feel or know that feel of certain players around the league, yeah, I would stay away from that. But again, 22 years old, sometimes you can break through that as well. Sometimes there's a certain personality that can break through
My
that.
other pushback on with Kuminga is like this year. I think mentally it's tough. You go into a situation where you know he's entering as a restricted free agent. Those are big years for you. And when an organization is seemingly dicking around with your role all the time, and you have these good moments, and then like you're not playing sometimes, or they go trade for someone else, dude, mentally it could be tough. And even in the playoffs, remember, he wasn't playing at first in the playoffs, and then they like throw him in there, and he had some good games, and then he had some rough moments. It's just tough for him in these moments mentally. And I think there's something to, hey, this 22-year-old, a change of scenery, maybe some different coaching, getting some different feedback
Different
and
roster.
love and getting confidence. Dude, believe, hope, confidence, that shit's powerful. And that can really alter things. I'm not one of those people like, hey, it didn't work out in Golden State. He's done. And
I'm with you.
like, no, this league can be very subjective. No shit.
Yeah.
Like everyone's got a different viewpoint as to like what they value in players and what they think they can get out of them. And I still think he's got that value.
I always go back to this because I saw it firsthand for so many years with someone like DeMarcus Cousins, and the toxic energy, the cancer vibe he would bring to the team and to the actual roster. And, you know, there were so many people in the media at the time that were just like, but he's the best in the league. What are the Kings doing? You know, trading him away. Like, he's the best big in the league, best big. And then other teams got to experience that. And then obviously too, after the injury, he wasn't going to be the same a few teams later. But my point to that being, there's just some people who they are what they are. They can be great at certain things, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be good for a team sport, for an entire roster. I don't think that's anything like that is the case for Jonathan Kuminga. And I'm absolutely all for trying out whatever the hell the Kings want to try out this year, even if it's Schroeder and Westbrook in that point guard position, Jonathan Kuminga on the floor.
Why do we need
Zach
both?
LaVine.
Someone's got to tell me why you need both, and then and especially after today, you'll like have both, and then it's like, yeah, and you still have Malik, Devin Carter, Keon Ellis.
No.
Oh, you drafted Nate Clifford, who could play guard. Like, what? Can we not do all that?
I just don't know.
We are 19 minutes away from the start of NBA free agency. 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m. in Maui. We are here live reacting to deals as they go down. Help us grow this channel. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. One other name that we haven't heard a lot of rumors about was Sacramento. Someone I think a lot of people want to see back, including myself, Jake LaRavia.
Oh my God, please and thank you. Like, that was something you and I talked about right when the season ended, when talking about players that fit this mold of this new NBA, how everything's evolved. Two-way guy to the point of, obviously on the offensive end is capable, right? Yeah. Like, he's capable to fit in as a role player. But on the defensive end, everything that you want, long, instinct,
physical,
effort is there. Like, the mentality is there. And it's like, yes,
good player.
Please.
They're only, I think the number's like 5.1, 5.3, something like that. That's the max they can offer him. Yeah. So some people are like, yeah, he's going to get more on the open market. And that could be the case. I just haven't seen any information out there about his future. I know that he has been in interviews like with the Sacramento media. I think he was on like a random podcast recently too, driving around with Austin Reeves, where he was talking about how much he liked Doug Christie. And so hopefully they can bring him back, because I think that would be big. You still have this team is, I think this Kings team, especially if it's how we think it could be going, whether it's like Westbrook in the fold or whatever, this might be one of the most bizarre NBA teams I can like think of in recent history.
Like, not for just the Sacramento Kings, but in the league.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. You got all these big contracts, but no one you look at is like, this guy's a star, or like it's
it's
and
weird.
Then you have so many weaknesses, and you're like, okay, how are you dealing with this? What's this rotation gonna be like? It's weird. It's very weird.
If there's a style of play where there's like a buy-in from everyone, even when you're not the tallest player out there, you're not the strongest player out there, you're not the star player out there, but there's this willingness, I guess, on the defensive end. It really can lead to special style of play and a product that like us as viewers would enjoy every single night. So fingers crossed that it can go in that direction.
Just real quick, just for us, just real fast, breaking WNBA news.
Bro.
Julie Van Loo waived by the Valkyries. She goes to Eurobasket. And she's like, hey, I'm ready to come back, and they waive her.
Chloe Bibby was waived too.
Oh, so they had to make some moves.
And Bree
Interesting.
Hall.
That's just for us to talk about. Anyway.
It's just for us. No, that's for anybody. 3 of these up.
I know, it's an NBA free agent. Spectacular. Yeah, so we are 15 minutes out. Hey, something else we got to talk about around the league too, as we anticipate a flurry of moves. Last free agent period sucked. Do you remember being on and we were waiting forever, and then there was nothing happening, and then we had an event, and then we went to the event, then we came back to do part 2, and it was like there's like 3 moves the whole time.
Is that where I remember the event, but that's why I probably barely remember free agency
because
last
nothing
year.
really happened. So I'm eager to see what this looks like. It's a different era, but anyway, yesterday we find out LeBron James opts into his deal.
Yeah.
And then like Rich Paul puts out the statement to Shams, and it's like, whoa, like, is this kind of a challenge to the Lakers? Like, hey, you really want to, we appreciate what the Lakers have done for us over the years, and he's enjoyed these 8 years. Oh my God, that championship. And hey, I know they're ushering in the next era, but my client really wants to win a championship too. So we're going to be monitoring kind of where that's going. I'm like, is this LeBron like sneaky? Hey, maybe trade me.
Would LeBron? Oh, I guess no. Okay. What is so like if he were to be traded somewhere though, like where would his contract even fit with a team?
Well, I think a lot of people brought up Cleveland as a possibility. Go back to Cleveland,
like
third
end your
stint.
career in Cleveland.
But what's Cleveland trying to give up? And if I'm LeBron, I might be trying to go to the East.
Well, yeah.
Just go. Like if I can get on a good
That's a
team in
great
the
point.
East, and
It's going to be the Houston Rockets versus who?
the Knicks.
Kidding.
Imagine if LeBron finally goes to New York.
Mike Brown and
end.
the Knicks get to an NBA.
Mike Brown, head coach. Wow.
I don't even know if I'd watch. Really
I know it's early. I do have to pee already. And this
I
is-
knew
can
it. Do you know I was going to ask you, hey, did you pee like before we went on?
I did.
Okay. See,
Pee
so
break, pee
this
break.
shows your age. This shows your age. Isn't this what like old men do? They pee every second? I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Somebody look that up for me. Oh my God. I love some of you talking about Sacramento Monarchs and everything too. Yeah. Got to make sure you watch the Valkyries. Not just because I'm on the broadcast, but that's why whenever I talk about a fun product of basketball, like there's no star players on this fucking team. They just all play basketball the right way. And it is so fun and it's actually leading to success. I'm not just acting like you can just do that in the NBA. But you do see some of these teams with that like gritty mentality. They plug and play. When it was Taylor Jenkins with Memphis, and they had like a lot of those G League guys like just coming in and really just playing with that same style. Like the fans enjoy it. It's a style of basketball that ends up being fun for that team, keeps that mentality just going.
Back.
How did you? Why did you? No.
Um,
Around the world.
I feel so much better.
Yeah. Some people are asking about the draft picks too. Like, any hope there?
With the Kings? I mean, I'm excited. Look, I'm not going to pretend to be some scout at the college level, but it seems like every draft pundit loves the Kings picks.
Yep.
Watching some of their film, you're like, I see it. Are they stars? Probably not. Can you hit on one of them? That'd be awesome. You know?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yes.
And you see Perry's vision that way. And that's the other thing that I want to talk about real fast. I'm glad you brought this up.
Well, the people brought it up.
I'm glad you brought this up, people. Everyone talks about like, hey, what's Perry's vision? I think it's Scott Perry wants guys that are going to be able to be two-way players. He wants depth at every position. He wants to be able to play with pace, play fast, have guys that could shoot, pass, dribble, defend, all the things that are important, especially in today's game. And if you look at what the Kings currently have on the roster, you'd be like, okay, how many of those actually fit into that?
Yes.
And it's not a lot. So like those are things that like he's going to have to deal with. And it's not just this is not getting solved today. I have some breaking news for you at this hour. The Kings are not going over some like crazy reconstruction today. It's going to be a bit of a process, and that's not fun. I understand.
It's funny when you said, it's not a lot. And all I'm thinking in my head is like, yeah, no, they're like, it's good. But you're right. It's like 4 guys that really make sense in the evolution of where the NBA is today. Now, when I say 4 guys, that doesn't mean the rest are just bums. It's like, no. We're just talking about the style of where the NBA is going. And the more of those type of guys that you have on your team, the more you can just really fill up that roster. I mean, you see it with OKC, and then you see it with Indiana having players with that buy-in of being special at something. And they were special at pushing the ball up the floor, playing with pace. But then what you saw was them grow and evolve game by game by game by game on the defensive end together as well.
So that's the other thing, though, I was going to mention is the stuff that Scott has talked about, what he wants, are kind of things that he addressed through the draft. Neat Clifford can defend multiple positions.
Yep.
He's improved his three-point shot the last couple of years in college. He's got decent size. He can pass. He can guard. Like, okay, that fits in. Maxime Reynaud, 7-footer with size, with length, can shoot from beyond the arc, can attack a closeout. He, down the stretch of this college season, blocked a shit ton of shots. You're like, okay, you see that. Even the other guy they got. Why am I blanking on the two-way
Starts with
contract?
a D. Starts with a D.
I like Morris. It starts with a D. Don't you know it? You guys help me out here.
No, I got it.
Dylan Cardwell. Thank you. Went to Auburn.
Is it
They
Dylan?
came, yeah. Dylan Cardwell. He is not a shooter, right? But he's got elite athleticism. He's big, strong, can block shots. He rebounds. He's a dunking machine. You're like, okay, I see. And he can come out and guard. Like, he could go switch out in the guys. So it's about checking some of those boxes. And it feels like what Scott Perry can control is doing it in this situation, right? Like, these are guys through a draft, through a two-way contract, I can add without a problem. These are the types of players that I want on my team. And in addition to that, he has to kind of take over with what he has.
And that's why I think with the Keon situation too, it's so special when you can develop a guy through your system, not just because of the contract situation, but they know what is pretty much needed within that system as well. Now, I guess to push back on that one, the system seems to change a lot around some of these players that might develop through the Sacramento Kings system because there's instability, different coaches, blah, 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 blah. But for someone like Keon, he grew as a player on both sides of the floor. Like, he was empowered and given confidence on the offensive side to really be a scorer because he has the ability to score in the mid-range, to shoot threes, all like in all these different ways he can score. So now I guess when I look at some of these guys in the Scott Perry era, it does excite me thinking about, okay, what they can do with them. But my whole point, sorry, I was circling back to my point about Keon though, is that it is going to be really tough that this new GM comes in and doesn't really get to experience what Keon started as and what he is now. And he's not going to get rewarded for that right away, but he can show it off this year. And
he could,
that.
But that's what I'm saying. You say that, but like, how? If that the roster has to be balanced better, and Keon's got to play significant minutes. We can't be playing this game like Mike Brown played this game last year, where he was sitting Keon Ellis, and it's like, no, this guy is too talented of a player. He does things that so many teams around the league value with his ability to defend. With the deflections, his deflection numbers are absurd. The steals, like, then you couple that with the 3-point shooting. Like, he's gotten a lot better. Now he does struggle guarding bigger guards,
Yeah.
like a Brunson. He can't guard. I don't think he's very capable of like guarding up all the time. But he's a really good defender, and he's like the type of winning player that you want on your team. He can't be buried on the bench this year. He's got to play. We, Morgan Reagan, are 6 minutes away. Let's go! How are you feeling?
I'm okay.
Temperature check in the chat. How is the chat feeling? We should get to some of the chat before we start here. How are you guys feeling headed into free agency? Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. All it does is help our channel grow. Seeing a lot of Cardwell stuff. Okay. Someone mentioning Trey Lyles. Yeah, I would be surprised if Trey was back in Sacramento.
You would be surprised?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think he's got a spot in this league. A guy his size,
100% he does.
could space the floor. I like him.
He's a perfect type of role player that you want. He has that size. Like, you see his inconsistencies, and I mean, especially last year when he was fighting through some injuries too, and I think even just some mental things. Like, you go through a lot during a season, and you have to figure it out. And when you do get those opportunities in time, you have to show up. And sometimes players aren't going to be consistent with that. But I definitely think he's someone that is going to still see success in the right situation.
I'm honestly a little disgusted right now.
Why?
There's only 144 thumbs up.
Did they not know it's your birthday week?
It's my birthday week. The least you can do is just click the thumbs up. Take 2 seconds. It just helps us grow so more people see what we're doing. That number should be, with the amount of people watching right now, that should be about 372.
Wow. Okay.
Because, some people just won't do it.
Yeah.
They refuse. But 372, and it's at 148, which is like, okay, should I just leave? Am I not welcome here?
If you want Deuce to leave, hit that thumbs up. Let's go. Get it going. Please. Yeah. Oh, wow. It really jumped.
Hell yeah.
People want you to leave. That's
Let's see here. Someone in the chat says, do you think Westbrook is good for us? It's a stopgap. I mean, I think Westbrook shows that he could help at times in the right role. I think he had those moments in the playoffs with Denver. All of his teammates love him over the years. He played with Sabonis actually in OKC for a minute. But yeah, I think he has what?
Just the amount of that term. I've heard you say it more than ever in the world. Ever.
What?
Stopgap.
Yeah, it's stopgap.
Like, I don't know why. And then it's like, you should make a song about it. Stopgap, baby, stopgap.
This is stupid.
Stopgap, baby. Stopgap, baby. Like,
shout out, by the way, to our producer at NBC Sports California, Nick, who texts me, says, by the way, I'm just listening to you guys right now, and I realize that if Keon Ellis leaves, then the Deuce and Mo interview is definitely a curse. And if you think about this, think about the people who have done extended podcasts with us on the team. Davion Mitchell. Bye-bye. De'Aaron Fox. Bye. No, just wait. Harrison Barnes. Okay. Rashawn Holmes. Keon Ellis. And the last one?
I know this one.
Tyrese Halliburton.
So-
Tyrese did an hour with us.
Who do you want us to do an interview with?
Yeah. Everyone's like, hey, get
No.
Levine on the pod.
So mean.
Get Demar on.
I would talk to them.
That'd
I'd
be
be
fun.
like,
Dude, that's a great point, Nick.
yeah, thanks.
The Deuce and Mo interview
Nick.
curse.
Yeah, dick.
Yeah, the extended conversation usually means you're gone.
No.
So JaVale McGee, we did have JaVale on, but he was a free agent when we talked to him, so I don't count that one.
And it was that wasn't a long form
No.
conversation. Like, the other ones were definitely.
Dude, are we the reason Tyrese is no longer here?
No, I'm not putting myself in that situation. I did nothing wrong.
Okay, we, Morgan Reagan, are 2 minutes away from the start of NBA free agency. Let's all kind of like, let's do a little breathing exercise just to calm us down, all right?
Okay.
Stop, baby. Put that in my fucking head now.
You gotta like lead us through. Oh, now you're praying? Is it breathing or praying?
I don't know, dude. Just leave me alone. Do your own thing. Okay. I'm ready. Dude, you know it's gonna come like we are 2 minutes out.
What if
Oh my God.
nothing? What if nothing happens?
Oh, just wait. I'm telling you, right at 3, you're gonna see a former MVP going to Sacramento, Russell Westbrook.
Is there a move where we get to celebrate
No.
something? Okay.
Oh, I mean, there
In the NBA.
Oh, in the NBA?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think there's a move today where we're going to be like, Sacramento did it! Shh! Fog, you know?
But I mean, then at some point, I do want to just celebrate NBA free agency, like maybe as it starts or something. Like I just want to feel good.
1 minute away. You need it? Oh, that's the wrong music. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our time! Hey, Morgan! Hit the button, okay? No, not that one. It's NBA free agency! What are the Kings gonna do? Who's spending money? Okay, that didn't go as planned. Hold on.
Oh shit! You guys, he was so excited.
From the top.
He was so excited.
From the top.
Okay, wait, get my fog machine.
Put your hands up.
Get my fog machine. No. Okay, 3, 2. Yeah! Hey! You're not doing it right, bro.
All right, so the Amazon cash gun did not go as planned, but free agency, my friends, is officially underway in the National Basketball Association. As we wait,
That's how you do it. You just hold it straight.
Hey.
Oh, go on.
dumb fuck, it went like this and it fell out.
I know, and you're supposed to hold it like this.
Okay, yeah, you're an expert with
Wait,
a cash gun.
Give me the money. Thank you. Okay. All right, if anything big happens.
You got a license to carry that? All right.
So stupid.
We are waiting for news to pour in around the association. I am hearing one. This is a Deuce Mason exclusive at this moment. I'm going to tell you one update.
Okay.
I'm hearing the Knicks are out on Russell Westbrook at this hour. That's what
Oh.
I'm hearing. I can tell you at this hour.
Shit.
Yeah, that's
You got an exclusive.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
got
serious.
it.
the Knicks are. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Well,
There's fake money all over the ground.
breaking news here.
All right. We are watching everything around the league right now to see the alerts are on. If there's anything we miss, let us know. We will be at Summer League. Thanks so much. Okay, it's 3:01. What are we doing? It's 3:02. Don't make it like last year. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's set the tone because sometimes you have to like put
Oh,
it.
intentions?
Yes, intentions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2025 NBA free agency. We are watching around the league. The alerts are on. What will the Sacramento Kings do? Will they add another player that's older than 36 years old? Could it be Russell Westbrook? We are monitoring the situation today. They could be also in on Dennis Schroeder. Could they add one or both? Why would they do that? Stay tuned. Is Jake LaRavia coming back? Could we see any sign and trade possibilities? The Kings have also been linked to Jonathan Kuminga. A restricted free agent reports indicate it could take some time for that one to play out. Teams interested in Kuminga include Sacramento, Miami, Chicago, and New Orleans. Do you want to be a part of that group? I'm not sure. We can also tell you at this hour, DeAndre Ayton bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers, $35 million. No one wanted to trade for that. Could the Lakers be swooping in? They're also interested in a group of centers, including Clint Capella, Ella, AA, as well as the old man, Brook Lopez. Could he be going back to LA for a second stint? That's not all. Al Horford, another old man, would like to hang out with some of his old pals. They're all like 37 and above in Golden State. Al Horford and the Warriors with mutual interest. We've seen Bobby Portis go back to the Milwaukee Bucks on a 3-year, $44 million deal. James Harden sticks with the Clippers, 2 years, $81.5 million. Nas Reed, 5 years, $125 million. 3 years, $100 million for Julius Randle. Those two back with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Oh, what about Nickeil Alexander-Walker, another free agent? Is he leaving Minnesota? It sounds like it. Detroit has registered interest. So has the Atlanta Hawks. What other teams could be in the mix for Nickeil Alexander-Walker? OKC, the defending champs, have locked up a couple of their young guys. AJ Mitchell gets 3 years, $9 million to stay put in OKC. Jalen Williams, the big, gets 3 years, $24 million. Dorian Finney-Smith, remember he got traded to the Lakers last offseason. He's buddies with Luka. What a pickup. He opts out of the final year of his deal worth $15 million. And there's talk he could be headed to the Houston Rockets on a multi-year contract. The Rockets taking a swing at things. Maybe Dorian Finney-Smith, maybe Luke Kennard. We're watching the Rockets here today. Shout out to Garrett Temple. He's been in the league for 37 years. He has agreed to a 1-year, $3.6 million deal to stay with the Toronto Raptors. How about Joe Ingles? He's staying put with the Minnesota Timberwolves on a 1-year deal. Davion Mitchell off night. Shout out to him. The Miami Heat say, you're a dog. I love dogs. Davion Mitchell was not only a dog, he was hitting shots for the Miami Heat in the playoffs. 40% from three-point land with Miami. Last year when he got traded there from Toronto, he signs a 2-year, $24 million deal for off night. How about Sam Merrill, Morgan? How about Sam Merrill, Morgan?
What about Sam?
4 years, $38 million with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we got some breaking news at this hour. I can tell you from Chris Haynes. He says sources, the Sacramento Kings have arranged meetings via Zoom to talk with Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook. Kings looking to acquire both, but have other point guard options to speak with. The Kings could look to add both. Will Westbrook and Schroeder be on the same Zoom call? We'll find out later on. Mentioned Sam Merrill. How about Duncan Robinson? He had an option. He declined a $20 million option. What is going on with Duncan Robinson? Windhorse movement? What's going on with him? What's up? What's up with that? Jordan Clarkson was bought out today by the Utah Jazz. In the final year of his deal, where could he be headed? We will find out. Maybe Sacramento. They love guards. Lonzo Ball was traded the other day for Isaac Okoro. That is where we stand right now in NBA free agency 2025. Holy shit, let's go back to the news that we were just talking about from Chris Haynes. Chris Haynes saying that the Kings have arranged Zoom meetings with both Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook. The Kings looking to acquire both, but have other point guard options to speak with. Wow.
So we've obviously been talking about the rumblings of this. Oh my God, could it actually be both? Sounds like it really could be. All the different things. We've used the term stopgap for so many now, especially in Sacramento.
If they're getting both, Morgan,
yeah,
Malik Monk is out.
Correct.
He's out.
100%. That would be really hard to see. I don't understand the vision of where it's going, but at the same time, you're at a place right now where you have zero, I guess, point guards. I say that because like there's people that are obviously have the ability to be a point guard if they're put into that role, but that is not their number one role.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you're Westbrook, why would you come to Sacramento to back up Dennis Schroeder? Like,
he would back up Dennis Schroeder for sure.
I mean,
right?
I imagine Schroeder would get paid more than Westbrook.
Yeah.
That's just. But either way, why would Schroeder come to Sacramento back up Westbrook or vice versa? Like, what is that? It just doesn't add up to me. Like, I don't know. And maybe I'm way off on this, and they end up adding both. And we're sitting here going, okay. Interesting. I know Westbrook wants to be close to home in SoCal, and this does not surprise me. We heard weeks ago that Russell Westbrook had interest in Sacramento. And at first I'm like, what? Really? And this was from outside Sacramento Kings land. I went, okay, I wonder if it's a mutual feeling. But the thought was he opted out. There's an opportunity potentially with Sacramento as a starting point guard. Well, this whole like Schroeder it's just interesting. What's going on? And I know Schroeder has he's made it like he would love to go back to Detroit, but Detroit is seemingly looking at other things. Maybe Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The Malik Beasley situation is completely bizarre. They were going to offer him a big deal, and then this whole investigation kicked off into gambling. So that's kind of put that on a pause for a second. So I'm just curious at this moment, 10 minutes into free agency here, what's really going on? It doesn't add up to me that you add both. We do have an update to another guard the Kings could be meeting with, Jake Fisher, saying the Kings are also planning to meet with Malcolm Brogdon among their other point guard options. It doesn't have to be, but the Wizards are willing to help facilitate a sign and trade with Brogdon. So Brogdon, this is one I'm having a tough time with. Maybe as a backup situation, but Brogdon has not been healthy. That's been the mark on him. I know he won Sixth Man of the Year a couple of years ago in Boston, but he has not been healthy. He played with Sabonis back in Indy. Again, it's another stopgap, and this is good. We're going to keep saying, "Stopgap, baby,
stopgap, baby."
Yeah.
Then you go.
I was singing it. You know, I was singing it first with my own lyrics, and you like hop in like you know where I'm going, and you don't. So just kind of let me cook.
Go. Yeah.
Stopgap, baby. Do you want Westbrook or Brogdon?
This is why you don't do this.
Or Schroeder?
No, you're like ruining this day for everyone.
Stopgap, baby. Stopgap, baby.
Ears are bleeding.
What?
Hey,
I'd also, at this hour, Woj, I know you retired, but dude, just give us a little something, man. I'm over here itching for some news. Woj, I know you know something. What is Shams Charania sitting on at this hour? I need updates, because right now all we know is that the Kings are interested in talking to Schroeder, Westbrook, and Brogdon. And Haynes is saying that the Kings could be looking to acquire both.
Yes. So you asked the question, when I think about someone like Brogdon, it's like an obvious yes, coming off the bench, backup point guard position. Like that's what it is.
He's not pushing the pace though. Like
no, but here's where I'm going with this too. When you look at Schroeder and Westbrook, it seems like more of a complicated situation when you're trying to get minutes for both these point guards. What do you try to do? That would mean Malik Monk is definitely gone. I could only imagine that there's just more to it. You would hope that there's more to it. But more to it, does that mean more to it before the season? Or does that mean as you continue into the season and before the trade deadline? Like, I just like,
You know what I'd be better with?
What?
And you're not going to like this one. If you're going to take a swing at something, what about Ben Simmons on a cheap deal?
Oh, I do like that one.
I'm like, here's what I do know about Ben, and we know his shortcomings. We know the injury history, blah, blah, blah. Separate he's not making what he made anymore. Okay. We know this.
Yeah.
He's got size. He could defend, and I know he can handle the ball and push the pace. Okay. And to get an opportunity in Sacramento, like that would make sense to me. I don't know. This is just, this is a lot to process. Like when I saw the rumors last night of a potential Schroeder and Westbrook thing, I went, oh, like Stein didn't proofread his stuff. There's a typo. Like Schroeder and Westbrook, it didn't totally add up to me. And I think part of it is like we don't know what else the Kings are doing today. Are they involved in a trade? Is there a sign and trade happening that could clear up some of this? But even so, like let's just say Malik is the odd man out here. I mean, what's coming back in return? Is that in more of a Kuminga deal? Because like I do think like losing Malik, I like Malik. I like his deal, and the fans love this guy. He loves it here. It would be tough, and I understand like for someone like for Malik, he's one of your assets, I would say, because his contract's not outrageous. He's a good player. He's had a really strong last few years in Sacramento, but. This is fascinating.
Did you unplug the? Am I smelling fire? Is the fog machine on fire?
Unplugged. You're not
Okay.
smelling fire.
Where there's smoke?
Okay, I thought you were gonna ask me to like use the fog machine. Like we are not using it right now. We until we get some sort of we are 13 minutes into free agency. Nothing's happened yet besides a rumor that the Kings have a Zoom call with Schroeder and Westbrook. What if they had all 3 point guards on the Zoom call at the same time and they all like a group interview and like they whittle it down?
Not a group interview, like a debate show, and all 3 of them have to sell themselves as to why they should be the next starting point guard for the Sacramento Kings.
Good luck. Oh, man.
I should be the next point guard for the Sacramento Kings because I believe I can push the pace like no one else could.
My
Who am
goodness.
It's been a long time. 14 minutes.
I know. I'm like scrolling to see if I missed anything. If there's anything that happens, you guys let us know in the chat too. But no, not like a troll. Let us know because we will double check it. We're not just running with what you say. See if I got any other things. Yeah. But okay, so like I said a few minutes ago, the Knicks are out on Westbrook. Man, Westbrook's coming to Sacramento, isn't he?
You're really feeling that
I
way?
kind of feel that. Where else is he going right now? Dallas looks like they're looking at D'Angelo Russell. He could wait it out and go to a veteran team probably. What other opportunity would he get to get extended playing time than Sacramento? Although then we get into the other thing, the Schroeder thing. We do have a signing updates, an extension in the National Basketball Association. It's a big one. The Memphis Grizzlies. They're paying Jaren Jackson Jr., former Defensive Player of the Year, gets a massive new deal. 5 years, $240 million. That includes a player option the final year of the contract. Sham says Memphis secures a franchise cornerstone long term. So Jaren Jackson Jr., there's so much talk about Memphis, like when they trade Bane. Hey, are they going to blow it up? They're not blowing up. I think they're trying to position themselves in a big way to keep things together and kind of retool and give themselves a different look. Jaren Jackson Jr. gets absolutely paid. I know he doesn't rebound at the level I love, but God, like a guy his size like is capable of doing so much out there.
Yeah.
Another guy the Kings technically could have drafted. Can you just think about that for a second?
No, I don't want to. Like, why would you do that? I just don't. Like, what's the point? What's the point?
It is crazy that in that draft,
Yeah.
the number 1 pick in that draft and the number 2 pick don't have NBA homes right now. DeAndre Ayton's a free agent, so is Marvin Bagley.
Whoa. It's wild.
Meanwhile, Jaren Jackson gets paid. Trae Young still in Atlanta. Luka in LA. And SGA, the MVP. Let's get to some comments in the chat. Jesse says Westbrook is a dog, and I think could be the leader the Kings never had in Fox. Westbrook is definitely a dog. He plays with an intensity that I think everyone appreciates. This guy's approach to the game, approach to practice is top notch. And it doesn't mean he's a perfect player. Like we all know, we all seen it. We've seen like, God, why did he take that shot? How did he miss that layup? Yes, but he does good things out there for sure too. And he's not the same player he was. He's not that same athlete that's getting up and down the floor like he was in OKC. Prime Westbrook in OKC, just dunking on people in transition. Him, KD, Harden, Ibaka. Like it was nasty.
It's difficult for any human body to still be the same player they once were and all those different. But it's like when you do think about the type of mentality that he brings with him, and now as a veteran, the speed he can still play with. Yeah, I mean, you have those things.
In the chat says, Deuce and Mo, have you given up on Devin Carter being a starting or even backup point guard for the Kings? I haven't. I am excited. We found out today he is playing in Summer League.
Oh, good.
And I hope they give him a lot of opportunity to bring up the ball and handle and run a team. I think that could be an option. I mean, I look at him more as a combo guard.
Same. I don't, when I look at his handles, I just picture a different style of on-ball defender on him, and there could be more struggles there, right? Not to say that same defender wouldn't do the same thing to other point guards throughout the league, but I'm totally with you on that. I think if him playing off ball, moving around, cutting, being quick, being athletic without the ball in his hands too.
A couple people in the chat saying, God, Kings just tank, just tank. I'm probably going to repeat this like 800 times.
Mm-hmm.
You guys give me the blueprint of tanking with the contracts that the Kings have. It's not possible. It's not. I mean, I guess you could just be like, hey, like Levine, you're not playing. Sabonis, you're not playing. But like, to me, if you're going that route, you have to move those contracts. And right now, as it stands, June 30th, 2025, no one's lining up to trade for Zach LaVine's deal. I don't think anyone's lining up to trade for Sabonis's deal. And at this point, we don't know about DeMar's deal. So it remains to be seen. Someone else mentioning Westbrook. Let's see here. Russ is a hustler. He plays with energy. No, that's the thing. He does play with energy. We got another update. Memphis Grizzlies related? Oh, my goodness. This is actually a good story. Restricted free agent Santi Aldama has agreed to a 3-year, $52.5 million deal to return to Memphis. And then Sham shouts out like every agent who worked on the deal. This is awesome for him. I mean, for him, we called some of his G League games.
Yeah.
And now he has turned into a really nice stretch big for the Memphis Grizzlies. So they lock up him and Jaren Jackson. They've also been tied to Ty Jerome. I gotta be honest, I'm not sure about Ty Jerome.
What? Wait.
I mean,
why?
Well, it depends on how much you're paying him. I liked what Ty Jerome did last year in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Good surprise. Great surprise. Playoffs, there were some good moments too at times.
Yeah.
But like, 28 years old, and he just hasn't played a lot of NBA games. You know, so I don't know, like, what is he? I think, but he's a role player in this league.
And
I guess it just depends what you give him.
you got to fill your roster. And we say that about everyone, though. Yeah. We say that about everyone. And then whenever a deal is made, we're like, well, that's today's NBA contracts. Like, that's what you got to do. And different markets have to pay guys the small market tax or whatever else it's going to be. I mean, it's just not apples for apples everywhere. And even in trades, when people are like, they got him for 7 first-round picks, it's like, it's just things change. Different markets. Some people get screwed over in these deals.
It's interesting. So not Ty Jerome. Santi Aldama is what, $52 million over 3? Is that what that deal was? 52.
Yeah, 52.5.
So that's like, okay, 52.5 divided by 3. So $17.5 million a year.
Under
but that
20.
probably starts lower than that escalates. I mean, it's a lot of money, no shit. But by NBA standards nowadays, like that's like nothing.
Yeah, and to fill your roster with the right pieces,
Yeah.
with a guy that's been in your system since the start. It's smart. It's good. That's how you lock them down. I mean, I'm sure that's what people wanted to see. You know, if you saw that type of deal for Keon Ellis, that type of money.
Yeah, yes.
Because
Yeah.
like I thought, I was thinking that maybe they could sign Keon for like 15 below, but it's
I think they could
20,
have if,
20 below.
if they had ripped up this deal.
Yeah.
And not picked up his option, just gave him a new deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could have. It would have been cheaper, but it also would have restricted them from making other moves today.
Yeah.
So I think this is the gamble that they're taking, and I think it's a gamble. And you better have the proper communication with Keon Ellis, and also be giving him like the belief that hey, you're gonna have a role in this team, you're gonna be able to earn this big deal and all this stuff. I just think if you end up being in a situation where, he becomes an unrestricted free agent, you're in a really tough spot. You're in a really challenging spot because someone's going to pay him.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just let him walk.
And again, it's who he is as a player and what he's capable of doing on both ends of the floor. Depending on what roster he's on, where his role is, you just see he's so valuable when he is getting minutes, when he is seeing opportunities. Yeah. All of this, just so much.
Let's see here. Johnny says, "Is Jake LaRavia signed yet?" No, he is not. We're still waiting on that. Someone in the chat also saying, "What about taking a flyer on Bol for the Kings?" Bol, I say no. I'm good. I mean, I think
I say no.
One, you've got Sabonis.
Mhm.
You got Valanciunas still here at the moment. I do think that's a deal they could potentially move. You drafted Maxime Reno. You have Dylan Cardwell on the two-way. I mean, where? And I just haven't seen enough from Bol in the NBA that makes me think he's even a rotational player on a good team.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand the intrigue. Like, dude, this guy, his size, like you see the glimpses. It's like, dude, Phoenix was desperate for size last year. Desperate. They had like Nurkic, got rid of him. They got Nick Richards. Desperate. And he couldn't really ever find like his spot consistently. So, hey, if you haven't done it yet, hit the thumbs up. Please. We're approaching a lot of viewers here. Almost 1,000. Let's get that thumbs up to like 600. So we have no free agent movement at this hour. All we have learned is that the Grizzlies have locked in Jaren Jackson Jr. and Santi Aldama. Both those guys returned to the Memphis Grizzlies. The only other free agent note that we know about, like a meeting or anything, Chris Haynes is reporting that the Kings are meeting over Zoom with Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook, and that they could sign both of those guys. Wow.
And that's where we are in 2025. I'm not even like.
What's Bojack doing?
I think he was afraid of the money gun.
The money gun, dude.
Yeah.
It is scary. You're right.
Yeah, it's like it didn't even do what it needed to do.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was saying.
I don't
Just
know.
that like I'm not opposed to a lot of things this season. Just because mostly where some of these contracts are, what happened at the end of last season with some trades and deals and tweaks in the roster, to having a brand new front office and a new start for a head coach with the new coaching staff. Like, there's just so much shit that's going to be new and different. So, like, I don't have any expectations. And sometimes that's a great fucking place to be. Because without expectations, you can't hurt me. You can't hurt me.
But sometimes it's fun.
You can't hurt me.
It's fun to have low expectations, but some hope. And right now, I don't feel like people have that type of hope at this point.
Allow hope to build into look. Oh, yeah. You out of all, you, Mr. Hope, you 3 days ago, like, you find hope not only in just listen.
I need you to take a
Listen.
deep breath
No,
and relax.
breath will be taken after. Hold on. Right after draft day, you and I are doing breakdowns, podcasts of these players. Your hope isn't necessarily like, oh, I am hopeful this is going to lead to winning basketball next year. But those glimmer of hope, that glimmer of hope of what even Scott Perry wanted to do as a GM with players over 6'2", was something that made us smile, brought us joy.
Again, I understand what you're saying, and I heard you on all this. I was saying for others. I'm not talking about myself. I don't know that a ton of people have a lot of hope right now about this situation.
Well, instill that hope in them.
I've tried. I've done as much as I can. I mean, that's all I can do. Oh, let's see here. Jokic's horse has sent this 100 times. The Kings should trade for Jonathan Isaac. What are your thoughts? I mean, Jonathan Isaac plays like 12 minutes a night. I mean, again, you're asking for another big. I don't know. I'm good. He's in Orlando. He signed an extension there last year. I feel like he's going to be an Orlando Magic for life. The owners there love him. How many games did he play in last year?
He played 71 games last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. After injury.
15 minutes a night. 15
Yep.
minutes a night. And he's had to overcome some big time obstacles with the injuries. Like, he missed 2 full seasons. I remember he got hurt in a game against the Kings in the bubble. And so he's had to grind his way back, and it's been a process, but it doesn't really do much for me.
But again, I'm not opposed to anything. What I am opposed to is being put into different situations with contracts that just screw you over for years to come. Like,
that's it, Morgan.
Yes.
The Kings are in a spot right now. There's no trading. You cannot be trading anybody for problematic contracts or attaching picks to bad contracts to get off of them. It's about putting yourself in a good financial position. You don't want to get any worse, and you want to make sure you got picks going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Man, trust me. I've thought about this. I saw someone put out like a highlight montage of the 22-23 Kings season and like all those fun moments. And I'm like, man, that went away really fast. Like, holy shit. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 years ago during free agency, we were sitting here going, the Kings have signed Malik Monk.
Oh my God, that was so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, remember that?
Yeah. It was really fun. And, you know, that a lot of that's gone. The team is completely different. So it is what it is. So Shams has been hyping up this offseason a lot.
Yeah, what is he doing?
He even said today, I think on McAfee, that they expect some big things tonight. And we haven't seen anything at this point.
Kind of annoying.
Yeah, but this is kind of where we've been at, right? Let's explore more of Sacramento for a second.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference, Schroeder versus Westbrook? I think Westbrook would be slightly cheaper.
If it's not both, I feel like they both are capable of pushing the pace. Schroeder's 31 and Westbrook's 36, 37.
Yeah.
I guess I would lean towards Schroeder just because too, you think about the other pieces on the Sacramento Kings and they're people that need the ball in their hands or we want them to have the ball in their hands like Keegan Murray. We want them to develop and keep getting their shots up and getting better and not just have a whole bunch of veterans doing their thing.
We do have a free agent alert from Shams Charania. We told you about Dorian Finney-Smith, Morgan Reagan, how he opted out of the final year of his deal with the Lakers and leaning toward going to the Houston Rockets. Well, Shams Charania reporting that Dorian Finney-Smith has agreed to a 4-year, $53 million deal with the Houston Rockets.
Oh.
The veteran going to the Houston Rockets, 53 over 4 years, $13 million a year. For him to rip up that final year, it had to make sense. Not only does he get more money, a 4-year deal, I don't know how many people are doing that deal for him. He goes to a team that is looking to make a serious push in the Western Conference to compete with Oklahoma City. They lock up Jabari Smith. They trade for Kevin Durant, and now they add Dorian Finney-Smith. There's been some talk about possibly the sharpshooter Luke Kennard. What else could happen today? Oh, man. They also locked up Steven Adams. Houston is wasting no time. We have another update.
There we go. Hey.
This one is not like the sexiest. I thought it said Chris Paul at first. I was like, holy shit. Free agent Paul Reed has agreed to a 2-year, $11 million deal to return to the Detroit Pistons. B-ball Paul.
Okay.
Back with the Pistons, 2 years, $11 million. So those are the two big ones. New team for Dorian Finney-Smith going to Houston, 4 years, $53 million. And then Paul Reed to the Pistons, back to Detroit, 2 years, $11 million. That's what we know at this hour. Still waiting for more news to break as free agency 2025 is underway.
Yay.
Let's go back to the Westbrook Schroeder thing for a second.
Yeah. So
I want to go back to Westbrook and Schroeder for a second.
Okay.
Why do you, in your guesses,
yeah.
why do you think that's a thing? You know, if you need to take that, go ahead, take that.
But then I'll be right back. I'm just going to
yeah.
say.
Morgan has to take a call. Could she be breaking some news at this hour? Oh my goodness. We'll find out. Let's explore that for a second here. The Schroeder and Westbrook thing. Chat, what do you think about this? Why would both of those guys make sense? And this is what I also look at. If your idea was like, hey, we need to have some money to spend in free agency, so that's why we're not going to extend Keon Ellis now. You good?
Yeah, I'm just going to call back.
Okay. That's why you're not going to extend Keon Ellis now, because you want money to spend in free agency to address some weaknesses. Okay. Are you willing to take a gamble? Are you willing to take a gamble of Keon Ellis potentially leaving so you could sign Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook?
This is what, okay, you're talking about
that
both.
to me is like, that's a serious gamble. For a stopgap point guard to spend your resources on that instead of giving Keon an extension now, when you risk like, yeah, I know you can still technically give him an extension this year, but what happens if he's like, no, I'm good. I'm going to test the free agent waters.
And it could happen.
That's
it could
tough.
Happen.
We do have one more update. Sorry. One of Morgan's favorite players, Cam Spencer, has agreed to a 2-year, $4.5 million deal to go back to the Memphis Grizzlies. Aren't you a big Cam Spencer guy?
Wait, why am I?
I don't know. I'm just making shit up. I thought you were a big fan of Pat and Cam. The Spencers.
I think it was more Pat, if anything.
Yeah.
That really grinds my gears.
Cam Spencer put up like 53 in a G League game last year for the Memphis Hustle.
A lot of 3-pointers.
You're not getting that on any coverage of NBA free agency today.
Facts.
But like the Westbrook and Schroeder dynamic, I understand like, hey, it helps your point guard depth. You go from having no point guards to having 2 and like all this, but it's like, okay, but is it worth possibly losing Keon? What's that mean for the minute distribution? Is it worth potentially losing Keon in free agency and moving Malik Monk?
Yeah.
Those are the things that like, I'm like, for what here? I know you're trying to establish a culture, but if that means one of your young guys that should be a part of the things going forward is gone, that could be tough.
Yeah. I think what we're seeing though too in this situation is that the organization is trying to put, in some ways, they're trying to put themselves first before putting themselves in a situation that takes them away from being able and flexible to do other things. They keep committing for what? They're not winning, even though I feel like Keon's a winning player, and that's where I have that disconnect. But do you get what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, let me ask you this. It's so hard to even imagine this.
Oh, no.
That you add Schroeder and Westbrook.
okay,
And let's in this exercise just pretend Malik is gone.
in this exercise.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you think you're a better team based on the rookies you add? You still have got Keon, right? Are you a better team than you were at the end of last year by adding Westbrook and Schroeder? Or are you just different?
And pretending that Malik's gone. And
if you're better, like how much, honestly, better?
Well,
They won 40 games last year.
I thought adding DeMar DeRozan last year with that roster was going to make them better.
Sure.
So that my point to even saying that out loud is I feel like my feel for what certain players can do has been a little off. I think what I'm not giving enough credit or giving enough thought into is what a coach in a system can actually do for the players that they have. And Mike Brown, even when he added DeMar, he might have demanded certain things at practice. We're going to run, we're going to shoot, we're going to practice all the damn time, blah, 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 like all those things. But then I also felt like it went in the direction of Foxy can do what he wants to do. Domas can do what he wants to do. DeMar can do what he wants to do. And sometimes when you play with that free style of offense and play with certain rosters and certain players, sometimes you actually need more structure and you need more direction and you need more discipline of being like, no, that's actually not good enough. I don't give a shit if you're a veteran player and you make this much money and blah, blah, blah. So I guess now with Doug Christie and these guys, is there a different connection, relationship, buy-in where it does lead to something different and they are better than what they were?
Yeah, and to me, even if they are somehow find a way to be better next year because they have point guards, it's not like I'm like, dude, watch out, this team in the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still like,
yeah,
cool, you're a playing team. When I first saw them linked to Schroeder initially, one of the things I said is Schroeder is good enough to make you not bad. And, and that's, I'm interested to see how this one plays out.
And when you say that, isn't that where the Kings have been?
Yeah, in the middle. And that's
Forever.
what people have. Again, that goes to a larger issue is that's the problem. You're a small market team that's trying to build sustained success,
Yeah.
right? And yes, part of that is establishing a culture of having the right guys in there that bring a certain level of like, hey, we set a standard. But like, let me rewind. If you're adding, Westbrook and Schroeder to a team that was super young,
Mm-hmm.
that whole bunch of young guys. Like, let's just say you didn't have Sabonis and you didn't have Levine. It was like you had Keegan and Keon and all these young guys. It'd be like, yeah, okay, they're trying to start. They've been around the
For
block.
sure.
They can help instill this. We're trying to build this out. But you're adding to a veteran heavy group. You know,
Yeah.
your starting lineup features. I mean, honestly, if you think about that, their starting lineup next year is going to be one of the oldest teams in the league. It's going to be
Yeah.
up there with the Warriors because you've got an over potential, either a 32-year-old Schroeder or a 36, 37-year-old Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
Levine's in his 30s, right?
Mhm.
Sabonis 30, I think.
Close enough.
Okay.
Isn't he like
I mean,
28?
Keegan's like DeRozan's 36. And then you got
29.
Keegan, who's like 24, 25.
Yeah, he's 29.
What is he by the time the season starts? Or he just had a birthday. So, yeah, it's just like, that's where I struggle with this. Like, yeah, you're trying to establish a culture and identity of how we play, but it's like, are you really shifting things? Like, is all of a sudden like Westbrook coming to town and like, dude, like Levine's like, dude, I'm going to approach things differently with my game now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
is that really going to be a huge factor? And so that's where it always goes back to the people who go, dude, we need young talent. In this way, you have to have like a good draft pick and you have to hit your picks for sure. It's not about getting number one, number two. Obviously, SGA was not a number one pick. Okay.
Yeah.
But SGA, there's a star player that was traded for SGA, and then they got picks. And then OKC got Chet at number 2, and then Jalen Williams at 13. And what do you know? They're in this position as defending champs, and they hit all the other moves. But the Kings have been that team that's just like good enough to like be in the playing conversation, then their pick's not any good. And like this year, it's like their pick ends up going to Atlanta and the Kevin Huerter deal, who's not even with their team anymore. And those things just hurt. And I know they ultimately got into the first round, which I thought that was a great trade by Perry to get into the first round and
Absolutely.
get something. Like that was very creative. But
Gave me hope.
you know, it's like it gives you some hope, but it's also like it's a 24th pick. Being realistic, like is Nick Clifford going to be a star in this league? If he is, oh my God.
Then
Like,
everyone
holy shit.
1
Can you
through
believe it?
23
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Or Maxime Reynaud, like everyone slept on him. And man, can you believe it? Like,
Yeah. And it's like you always and sometimes too, what sucks when these players get drafted to Sacramento, they're also put into a role sometimes, depending on what's on this roster, of having to do more than what their role should even be. And sometimes those opportunities and experience is actually really good for them in their development. And other times it could be deflating to the confidence and can stunt some of their growth because they're not in the right situation or role or environment. And you could only hope that if some of these veteran names were brought in here, that it would ultimately lead to just some of these guys really being able to, some of the younger guys being able to feed off that.
Westbrook leads the Kings back to the playoffs. Can you believe it?
I would for
He averaged 15, 12, and 10. He averaged a triple-double last year. Can you believe
I'd build a statue of him in here.
just to get to the playoffs? We like sold out a year. We lose Keon Ellis next year. Like, yeah, but you know what? Was it worth it? Westbrook went to the playoffs.
Russell Westbrook's like, hey, I really want to come to your podcast studio and interview with you. No, it's a curse.
Yeah. So we are playing the waiting game. If you're just hanging out with us, we appreciate you being with us. We have been on since 2 p.m. Pacific time. We are approaching the 4 o'clock hour. And really the only moves we have seen for the Memphis Grizzlies at this point, right?
Yeah.
Also the Houston Rockets at Dorian Finney-Smith. Memphis re-signing Cam Spencer, Santi Aldama, and giving Jaren Jackson Jr. a massive deal. And then the Kings related news has been that they're on a Zoom meeting today with Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook, and that they wouldn't mind having both those guys on the roster.
You think they're recording the conversation?
Hey, do we have permission to record this? Yeah.
Conversation recording.
Yeah. Man.
Hey. It's what we do every year.
Someone in the chat, Mr. Boss, says, interesting that ESPN has a trade show that starts in 18 minutes.
Ooh.
And we've barely seen anything. Ooh, I love a good conspiracy.
Love.
Now, what? Why would there be no news? Maybe it's because, think about it. Is it because the trade show hasn't started yet and they want Shams to do it on live TV? Think about it. Is that why? Because then people will turn on ESPN? What's that about? I like it.
There could be truth.
No, it
They're
could
just
be.
like sprinkling
Yeah.
little Memphis. Oh, because everyone we are being blessed by Memphis Grizzlies information. Cool.
Will there be a nightcap, a free agency tonight? Yeah, we'll definitely record a pod at the once we know more stuff.
Yeah.
If anything happens tonight. Otherwise, the reality is we at some point go, all right, we'll close down shop, and then we'll like get breaking news, and then we'll be back on, or we'll do a clip about some big news of the day. So we will find out together. Man.
What?
It's never dull being a Sacramento Kings fan.
Do you think there's other fan bases right now?
Yeah.
There's like a Moose and Zoe somewhere. Well, I don't know why those were the only names I could think of that are like doing a show just like this for different fan base.
No one's doing a show like we do. Are you kidding me?
Oh, so gross.
It's true.
And I just don't like
With a dollar bill gun that doesn't work, a fog machine.
Good point.
And referencing Cam Spencer's 50-point game for the Memphis Hustle.
Yeah.
You're not getting
How
that.
many threes did he hit in that game? I think it was 12.
I think it was 12, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I'm almost positive.
We got a couple of super chats we should get to. Let's get to some super chats.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
you guys for being here. Oh my God, I missed a lot of them.
Jesus.
Let's go. Shout out to Young Bam Bam donating $2 saying, Westbrook. Also, Sim donating $79.99 in Australian money.
Australian money.
Let's go get a point guard. Big fan from Australia. Yeah, okay. I could have just read the message. It says that. Thank you so much. Swagman, he's a member for 3 years. Hell yeah.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that. You've been with us for a long time. What's up, Jake? He says, so $2 say both is crazy, and I'm here for it. Oh no, we got some bad news for the Kings right now.
No.
Shams Charania reporting Jake LaRavia signing a 2-year, $12 million deal with the LA Lakers. Damn. We knew it was going to be hard, Morgan. We knew it was going to be challenging to re-sign LaRavia because the Kings were limited as to what they could offer. The Lakers go above that mark, giving him a multi-year deal. Remember, I said he did a podcast interview where he's in the car with his old buddy Austin Reeves. Jake LaRavia, good pickup for JJ Redick's group in LA, going to the Lakers.
Really? Like, can we just hear something positive first and then, like, go to something negative? Good for him. Yay. I'm so glad a whole bunch of millionaires are making more millions. Like, yay. Can't even be happy for anyone right now.
That's a blow. And look, the Kings, I like the pickup, and there were so many good things you saw out of him. And we knew it was going to be like if he came back, if he came back to Sacramento, it was going to be a slight upset. It was going to be like, dude, like maybe there wasn't money out there, maybe just like being here. Ultimately, for him as a young guy, how do you pass up? How do you pass up a situation where the Lakers give you a couple of years?
Wait,
Wait. Do we have conflicting information at this?
Let me make sure. Let me go to Chris Haynes.
Wait. This would be amazing.
Okay.
Wait.
No.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Wait.
Okay, we're gonna just show it on the screen. Actually,
Yeah. Because
okay, we are getting conflicting information at this hour. We don't know what to believe. I lean toward Charania just because, from a numbers perspective, Chris Haynes is reporting that Jake LaRavia has agreed to re-sign with the Sacramento Kings. But who do you believe at this hour? Because we've got information from Shams Charania and others reporting. I think our guy Dan Wyke over at The Athletic now is confirming that LaRavia is going to the Lakers. But our first controversy of free agency 2025 We got one reporter, Shams Charania over at ESPN, reporting that Jake LaRavia is leaving the Kings, agreeing to a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Lakers. But Chris Haynes is saying that Jake LaRavia has agreed to re-sign with the Sacramento Kings. Who is right? Who do you, Morgan? Who do you think's right?
Oh man, do I have to answer that?
It's our new game.
Oh no!
Who is right?
Welcome into Who is Right?
Yes, and we are missing someone in the NBA information game. Adrian Wojnarowski, no longer with us, still alive, but you know, for our purposes, dead to us. He left the NBA game.
Good.
Today we get information, Morgan, first off from ESPN, Shams Charania. Been in the game a long time now with ESPN, formerly of The Athletic. Used to work with Woj back in the day. He is saying that he is hearing that Jake LaRavia is leaving the Sacramento Kings to sign with the LA Lakers, and he's reporting that on his social media. 2 years, $12 million.
Okay. And the other contestant?
Or it's Chris Haynes, formerly of Turner. Formerly of Yahoo Sports, Bleacher Report, also does work in the Big Three. He reported that the Kings have a Zoom interview with Westbrook and with Schroeder, but he reports that the Kings have actually re-signed Jake LaRavia. Who is right? Well, we may have an update. Apparently, it was Shams Charania!
Yay!
No, it's not good.
I know, I'm just clapping
Because-
for he's won the game. He won the game.
Yeah, Shams Charania won, but
Sacramento Kings fans, you lose.
you lose because Jake LaRavia is indeed signing with the LA
Lakers. Why would this happen today with my emotions? Literally.
Man.
I was just low, and then I got high, and then it was just like,
That's a mark against Chris Haynes today.
you're going to give him a mark?
It's a missed shot.
Oh.
You play with my emotions today, Chris.
Yep. There you go.
Haynes. Everything's fine!
I love my life!
Okay, you just broke the computer. Jake LaRavia going to the Lakers. Yeah. It's not a surprise that he would leave Sacramento. Like I said, they were limited. And I don't like how this works in the NBA. So what happened was the Grizzlies did not pick up his option. So if they were going to re-sign him at the time, they were limited as to what they can offer him. It's kind of the same thing that happened years ago when the Kings did that with Harry Giles. So when the Grizzlies traded him to Sacramento, the same rules applied. So Sacramento, even though they liked him, it was like, well, good luck like keeping him because you can only pay him so much. I think there was a glimmer of hope that the Kings felt like they could keep him because one, he got hurt at the end of the year, maybe production, I don't know. And that he liked being here, Doug Christie, all that. But dude, if you're him, you can't really pass up a guarantee of $12 million to play for the Lakers. Even if they have some changes coming, you get a chance to play with Luka. You're a young guy. And I'm sure JJ Redick is like fired up to have a player with his size and versatility on the floor.
Yeah, how could you not be? And especially for a good deal as well.
Also, just an interesting question. I want to get your answer to this, Morgan, from the chat that we should get to.
Yeah.
MT wants to know, how many white guys do the Lakers need?
Great question. That's actually a great question.
That's funny.
We should take a look at that. Oh, laugh track.
Oh, man. DB Cooper in the chat saying Jake the Snake.
That's what people have said.
Does he get booed when he comes back to Sacramento?
No.
Knowing Kings fans, it's like a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Go, Jake!
We love the two loose balls you die for.
Hey,
in your 2 minutes you were here.
His first game in Sacramento,
Hell
though,
yeah.
weren't you like, dude, did they find something?
Yes, I was.
That's a tough one for Sacramento. I actually thought for a moment if they were able to re-sign him, like, could there be a situation if the roster was balanced enough that you could start Keegan and Jake in the front line with Sabonis? And what does that look like? Just be a little versatile and young and with dogs. I don't know.
Dogs.
Speaking of dogs, let's give it up for our friend Bojack.
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 Woo.
Hey, Bo, how are you doing today, buddy?
He's my emotional support dog right now. making me feel so much better.
How are you?
He's a Shiba Inu. I saw someone else ask what breed. He's a Shiba Inu.
Yes, he
He's
is.
just the cutest little fox-looking dog. I just love him so much, and he helps me through all my hard times. And every time the Kings lose, and they lose free agents, and they can't do anything right.
Nick's trying to provide us like, hey, relax, Deuce and Mo.
Please.
He says he's a hard worker, but his skills really aren't there. Yeah, I mean, he's a role player in this league. I'm not saying he's a star, but like for a Kings team, like Jake would have been a valuable pickup for them. And like for the Lakers, that's an amazing deal. Like $6 million a year for a young guy who like has size, can hit a three, put the ball on the floor and defend a little bit. I know it can be chaotic sometimes, but like that's great for the Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
No, that's the thing too. When I think sometimes even before when we were talking about some of the draft picks for the Sacramento Kings, when there's positives about these players and what they can contribute, it's not always about like they contribute a winning product right now or they are a star player or whatever. They could be a winning player. They could add different elements of their game, could be perfect for the way you want to see a roster fill up. And you're seeing the two teams that made it to the NBA championship, the NBA finals, they had depth. They could go into their bench. Everyone could step up and play, even in the role that they needed to play in, but at such a high level in so many different ways. And when you have those type of players to fill up your roster, like,
and I
you're
know
going in a good direction.
I know he's different than Dorian Finney-Smith, but like Dorian Finney-Smith making $15 million or paying Jake LaRavia 2 years, 12. Like I'm signing for Jake LaRavia every time, you know? And so I like that. Someone also was sharing a tweet that I guess Chris Haynes, who's doing a show on NBA TV right now, said that the Kings really wanted to re-sign LaRavia, but quote, I think something happened last minute where things fell apart. So I don't know. Maybe things did fall apart. Maybe the Lakers swooped in last minute and goes, hey, what about here? And he's like, yeah, actually. Cool. Man. This may shock you at this hour, Morgan.
What?
I do have to pee again. This is the second time in 2 hours.
I mean,
it's not bad.
No, you peed right before the show though. So that's 3 times in 2 hours. So nice try.
I'm drinking water, dude. I'm staying hydrated. I'm talking a lot. Like I need.
Okay, nobody's yelling at you. I don't know why
You're judging me.
We all are.
All right, don't worry. I'll be right back.
We're good. Give us a thumbs up if you're happy Deuce is gone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I just don't want to be in that middle level that we've seen this team being a mid team for so many different years. It's not even just because it's like, oh, you don't get the highest draft pick. Like we already went over different drafts, just draft well, right? And now you have a different front office than you had the last couple of years that you're already seeing has a different identity so far of what he gravitates to. Okay, I wasn't talking.
What's up?
I wasn't talking to people, but yeah, no, please interrupt.
What are we talking about? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I don't even know what I was saying.
Do you think that, like, we've been doing this free agent watch party every year for like the last 5 years?
Correct.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Do you think we'll be doing this when we're like in our 60s? Or do you think where there's going to be a point in time it's like, that a good, like, it makes me sad that one day we'll not be doing these? Or do you think we'll do these forever? In my head, I will be 75, like retired from broadcasting and be like, we're live. Let's go. Let's talk, dude. Back in my day, I'll never forget. Remember when Jake LaRavia, we thought he was going to Kings, he's going to Lakers.
Like that was in 2025.
Yeah,
It's like 2050.
Do you think we'll do this forever?
I mean, I'm down.
Okay.
I love this shit. Like, this is so fun. But here's the thing. There will be so many different ways. This league is going to evolve.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a different league then, right? Or what?
Well, it's still going to be the NBA.
Okay.
But I'm thinking like free agency. What if they
and also
change?
like I keep saying me being in the 60s versus you and it's like a different time. Because when I'm in my 60s, you're in your mid 70s. Like Something like that, right? Right, okay.
Oh my God, new material, please.
In the chat, super chat. Hey, why is Scott Perry targeting these old players?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe they are showing some what is it called? Like want of being here too. And and again, we talk about this every year with free agency in Sacramento. It's very difficult to attract free agents. It would be easier if they were winning to attract free agents. It would be easier, but still just not even the easiest. Like, as soon as you put a Lakers jersey on, a bigger market jersey on, you can, if you have the right agent and the right personality, you can make more money for yourself. You can market yourself differently. You can do all these different things, blah, blah, blah. So when you are going to a smaller market, it has to be usually more because of the basketball side of things. Like, there's something that intrigues you. And I think with some of these older guys that you see, it intrigues them being in a role where not only that they would make more money than they would maybe with some other teams, but they could play a bigger role and ball out still on the basketball court.
Yeah, I think there is a case to be made. I've seen some on social media talk about this. Like someone like Trey Jones, Tyus Jones' brother, Trey, who, you know, ironically enough, I'm sure the Kings probably could have gotten because he was involved in the De'Aaron Fox trade. He actually went to Chicago in that deal, and he played really well in Chicago, especially down the stretch, and he's 25 years old. Now, the sample size isn't there, but I think he does some good things, and he'd be cheaper. Westbrook and Schroeder obviously have more of a track record, but if you're trying to lean younger and someone that has had some brief experience and some good moments, well, okay, that's so funny. I'm just kidding. Speaking of Trey Jones, Trey Jones agreeing to a 3-year, $24 million deal to return to the Bulls. So there's that. There's that. We're also hearing that LeBron James, according to Chris Haynes, he says, Rich Paul told me there's no trade discussions. He believes the Lakers have what it takes to maximize the Luka timeline, also maximize and prioritize LeBron's timeline. But anyway, Tyus Jones' brother, Trey Jones, good save, Deuce. Trey Jones back to the Bulls, 3 years, $24 million. That's a good deal.
That is a good deal.
It's a really good deal for the Bulls. The Bulls get a lot of shit. That was a good deal for them. I was bringing him up. The other name that got brought up by some Kings fans that I push back on a lot was Trey Man from Charlotte, who got off to a really strong start last year with the Hornets, ends up getting hurt. I think he played like 13 games. You know, he's in Oklahoma City before that. He's just a small guard who doesn't really guard. Like, I can't, I'm not about it.
Okay.
I mean, he'd definitely be cheaper, but is he going to be your starting point guard? I mean, at that point, I'm just like, roll with Devin Carter then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I look. I'm not saying he's a bad player. It's just, I start to, all right, what does he check some of the boxes for Scott Perry? I don't think he checks enough of them. And with Westbrook and Schroeder specifically, when I think about those guys, let's start with Schroeder. Schroeder is one of the fastest guys in the league. He's got good speed, good first step. Like, he's fat. He pushes the pace. He'll play some pick and roll ball, and then he guards. He's a solid player. Solid. Westbrook plays with intensity, which I think they like, and he pushes the pace and gets in the paint. So those are the boxes that they're looking at. I still am trying to come to terms with the idea of both of them. That doesn't make much sense, but we'll see what it looks like here coming up.
Yeah. But also with the Trey Man debate that you just had, you know, or say anything.
And every time Morgan says something, he goes, we got an update, and it's not really a surprise. Free agent guard D'Angelo Russell going to the Dallas Mavericks. 2 years, $13 million. That was pretty much all they could offer him. So D'Lo, we're getting a flurry of moves as we approach after 4 o'clock. D'Lo headed to Dallas to join Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and the Dallas Mavericks. 2 years, $13 million. And you think about that for them. I mean, Kyrie is their guy.
Yeah.
You know, coming off the significant injury, though.
Yep.
So we'll see what that looks like when he comes back. they're in a stopgap situation, but 2 years, $13 million, not bad for the Dallas
No,
Mavericks.
not at all. And obviously, it's probably him too, just wanting to be a part of, some big names.
He played
winning
with AD in LA.
Yep. Going back really quick to the
Schroeder?
Kings point guard situations, I wanted really quick, even the Trey Mann conversation, 40% 3-point shooter. Like there's things that he can obviously do, young, 23. But for you, it's more of what, a size thing?
I just don't think I don't look at really him as a point guard. He's a guy that's looking to go get a bucket.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? And I do think like someone like Dennis Schroeder, if you need him to score more, like in Brooklyn last year,
Yeah.
he took far more shot attempts. But depending on the situation, like in Sacramento, they don't need him to go score.
No.
They need him to get organized and play with pace, collapse the defense, get the ball moving around, and get others involved. And that's the same with Westbrook.
I was going to say both him and Westbrook average like 5 and 6 assists per game. And so they're both facilitators, right? They both, I think Schroeder has a calmer aura about his game when it comes to facilitating and being able to be a floor manager out there, where Russ can push the shit out of the basketball and within his chaos,
I think he's a better facilitator.
Yeah. Find the person. Like if you're moving and if he's like going downhill and you're moving or you're relocating with him, like he'll find you. His vision is there. Sometimes he'll leave his feet, maybe make the wrong pass, or the pass will go like, however many rows into the stands. But like there's other times where it's like he's looking for that though. He's looking for the big play and looking for his teammates.
Defensively though, who's better? If you're talking about, are you asking between Schroeder and
Probably.
Westbrook? I say Schroeder is better on ball. I mean, Westbrook plays with intensity too. He can get steals. I think Westbrook has a tendency throughout his career to ball watch a little bit, get beat backdoor, and he just from a team concept is not always locked in, but he plays with intensity and competitiveness, which I like. I like the fire. Like I like guys that and Schroeder, to his credit, has that same one. I'm giving out my first technical foul to the chat today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, first tee. To Corey says, Schroeder was in Detroit last year. Because I mentioned Brooklyn. I have a breaking news at this hour.
Oh, no.
He was in Detroit last year. Sure, yeah. He was also in Golden State and Brooklyn last year.
Be nice.
He went Brooklyn
Don't be a dick.
to Golden State to Utah Waves, signed with Detroit. I can tell you that at this hour. Thank you. It's technical for correcting me when you were actually mistaken.
But like, what if they were just like they're just like chilling and tuning in?
Is it technical?
No,
Whoa, we got a trade in the NBA, and it is a significant one.
I'll believe it when I hear it.
Here we go. No, this is big, involving the Denver Nuggets. They're trading Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected 2032 first-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets for Cam Johnson.
Wow.
So, the Nuggets going for a little more stability, I guess, at that position. Someone that is a 3-and-D guy.
Yep.
Who has shown his ability, and they give up on Michael Porter, who at times showed the flashes. Still young, got great size, beautiful shooting, but they needed to make some sort of change. They lean a little older, going with Cam Johnson. And we should actually take a look at the other issues with that deal.
Oh.
When it comes to Cam Johnson, he makes $21 million this season, $23 million the season after that. Michael Porter Jr. is under contract for $38 and $40 million. So I feel like, I mean, unless I could be missing something, I'm not going to pretend like to be a cap guru. It feels like more pieces could be involved. We'll find out. But at the moment, the Nets, Michael Porter Jr., and an unprotected 2032 pick from Denver. That pick in 2032?
Yeah.
I mean, what year is it? 2025? That's post-Jokic. That's post-Jokic. They got a post-Jokic unprotected first-round pick and a young guy in Michael Porter for Cam Johnson. Remember, so many teams were interested in Cam Johnson last trade deadline. The Nets were asking for so much. The Kings had interest. Ultimately, they decide to ship him to the Denver Nuggets. Michael Porter Jr. and a 2032 unprotected pick. We also have another update at this hour. Free agent wise, the Grizzlies have stayed busy. Ty Jerome going from the Cleveland Cavaliers to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Wow.
3 years, $28 million. That's a great deal for the Memphis Grizzlies. At just over, what is that math, Morgan?
You got to do it for me. Get that calculator.
That's $9.3 million a year for Ty Jerome, who had a really solid year, just an absolute dog. Good year last year for the Cavs. But holy shit,
Yeah.
a lot to process for the Denver Nuggets, who move off of Michael Porter, his big salary. Yeah, there's injury risk there. Michael Porter Jr.
But they both have injury risk.
That's
I mean,
true.
like
That's fair.
that's where it's almost like you're trading for one guy who I don't think Cam Johnson has ever stayed on the floor for a season over 70 games.
Michael Porter Jr. is 27 years old, too.
Okay, and even age-wise, they're closer in age.
Exactly.
They're close in.
Cam Johnson is 29.
Okay, 27, 29.
And last
Both
year,
shoot close to 40%.
You're right. I mean, he's
It's-
missed significant parts of
Yes.
seasons for a long
Yes.
time here. So there's definitely risk involved there. And you're looking at it going, all right, does Cam Johnson provide you the stability you need, the consistency you need at that spot that allows you, and again, we don't know whether moves the Denver Nuggets are going to make,
Right.
that allows you to compete in the West. And I think they're trying to maximize the Jokic window. They've had this group together for some time. That's interesting. I mean, they're leveraging that pick in 2032.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
could
they're-
be crazy down the stretch.
So and I feel like that relationship with Michael Porter Jr. and just also what he was capable of doing on the defensive end at times was obviously frustrating. I thought he got better and better too on that end with his feel, with his instinct. Oh.
Give me a hell
No, I'm choking here with my button pressing.
Yeah,
Let's
you
try it
are.
again. Morgan? We have an update from Fred Katz, who's a senior NBA writer at The Athletic. He's reporting at this hour that Dennis Schroeder has agreed to sign with the Sacramento Kings. No details at this point, but right now, Dennis Schroeder has agreed to a deal with the Sacramento Kings. Some of the reports we have seen in recent days has suggested it'd be a 2-year deal, right around $28 million. We'll see what those details end up being. We've also heard reports from Chris Haynes today that the Kings are also meeting with Russell Westbrook over Zoom and that they wouldn't mind adding both of those guys. But at this hour, Fred Katz, Athletic, reporting Dennis Schroeder to the Sacramento Kings.
Also, can we say too that all of the action did start happening once
You're
ESPN
right.
show started?
The person in the chat that
Yep.
said just wait till 4 o'clock. All right.
Okay.
So Dennis Schroeder, Sacramento Kings at this point, we're waiting on the official numbers and details about what that means. But the reality is there's been so much noise about him in recent days with the Sacramento Kings. I like Dennis Schroeder. He's a solid player. And this is not solving your point guard situation for years to come. We have detailed where the Kings stand right now. They've got a hodgepodge. It's a weird team. They have many more moves that they need to make, but they may be kind of stuck right now because of some of the deals they have with Levine and Sabonis and even DeRozan to a certain extent. What else can they do? Last year, they did not have a point guard after they traded not only De'Aaron Fox, but Jordan McLaughlin too, who didn't really play much, but like another guy who could play that position.
Yeah.
Monk ends up playing that position. He gets hurt. You're looking around going, who the hell else is playing point guard? Sabonis said what they need in the offseason. He immediately said point guard. They do have one now, a guy who is now on his 10th NBA team, Dennis Schroeder. We do have an update. Kevin Porter, 2 years, $11 million going back to the Bucks. We'll throw that in there.
Okay.
That gets a little, just a quiet, like ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
I think Schroeder does a lot of what the Kings need out of that spot right now. And for a stopgap situation, totally fine with it.
Stopgap, baby.
Baby.
Stopgap, baby.
What's your breakdown on Dennis Schroeder, Sacramento Kings?
So looking at the 3 teams that he was playing for last year, Brooklyn, Golden State, Detroit. Going back to just starting with Brooklyn, 23 games with them, and he had the ball in his hands a lot more, was shooting a lot, and was a 38% 3-point shooter, right?
Yeah.
So like, he can still shoot the basketball, because if you look down at the other teams, it's like, okay, different situation. Shooting wasn't as good.
And his
Role.
career shooting from 3 is what, 34-ish percent?
Yeah.
Not known for being a great 3-point shooter.
No. But like, whatever. So anyway, you look at that, but you also look at his assist numbers with Brooklyn in those 23 games at the beginning of last season, and it was averaging like 6 a game. So that number pretty much stayed the same even with the other teams, right? So he can facilitate, he sees the floor. People were asking, who's the better defender, Westbrook or Schroeder? Because obviously we're still talking about Westbrook, but Schroeder, his ability to just be on ball, be feisty, be able to put on that perimeter pressure. Like, you can depend on him even with his size out there. Like, he's not just a full-blown liability. And that is something that we have been talking about all summer long when you hear those other rumors, when you heard those other rumors of other players. You have something?
No.
Okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
So yeah. So anyway, so my whole thing on Dennis Schroeder, I think from the start, when we first started hearing his name, I saw a lot of people being like, no, that's not good, whatever. I like it. I'm down for it. Whether it's the stopgap situation, assuming that it's going to be that $14 million contract. We don't have those details yet. But my point to all of that, it's like what the Kings are trying to do. What are they doing? We don't know at this point in time, but they didn't have a point guard yesterday, a true point guard, and now they do.
And last year, starting with Brooklyn, you mentioned like he was allowed to do a lot more. He played really strong basketball. And what happened was DeAnthony Melton goes down with a torn ACL last year for the Warriors. They're in a tough spot. They're like, dude, we got Melton. We gave him the mid-level.
Yeah.
Expected to be a contributor, and he had some good moments for them. He goes down. They're like, shit, we need another ball handler. They trade for Schroeder, and it just wasn't a great fit. And once Golden State was starting to look around, try to get the Durant deal done, that didn't happen. They get the Jimmy deal done. They end up sending Schroeder in a deal to Utah, who waived him immediately. Schroeder ends up signing as a free agent with the Pistons. The Pistons lose Jaden Ivey. They need like another guy out there that could score, run the show a little bit. And Schroeder had some really strong moments last year for the Pistons. Cade Cunningham gave him a lot of credit for his leadership in the locker room, but then even in the playoffs, in that series against the Knicks, like he showed out a little bit. There were times he was closing games and coming up with big moments. He's a solid player.
Yeah.
And in the perfect world, he's not your starting point guard. If you're a good team, if you're a great team in the league, he's not a starting point guard. But can he start on a team? Yeah. And I think for Sacramento's standpoint, when you don't have a point guard and you're looking around, I think you could do a lot worse than Dennis Schroeder, especially if it's like a 2-year deal. Maybe it's a 1 year with player option or a team option. Like, what's that look like? What's the full money? We don't know yet, but I don't think it's anything that's going to handcuff them for a long time. We got one other update, free agent signing involving the Denver Nuggets, bringing back someone who was with them before and won a championship. Bruce Brown is headed to the Denver Nuggets, going back to the Denver Nuggets, Bruce Brown. So the last hour, the Denver Nuggets, last 10 fucking minutes, they have been really busy. Denver trading Michael Porter Jr. and a 2032 unprotected pick to the Brooklyn Nets for Cam Johnson, and they bring back Bruce Brown on a free agent deal. It's worth noting, Jordi Fernandez, the head coach of the Nets, very familiar with Michael Porter Jr. because Jordy was with Michael Malone in Denver as an assistant coach for a long time there. He knows Michael Porter really, really well. So they're taking a swing on Michael Porter Jr. and getting that 2032 pick. My goodness. Going back to the Kings and Schroeder, and we'll keep you updated. We are here and locked in because it is free agency 2025. Yeah, good. That was actually really good.
Thank you.
That was great. Great timing.
Yeah.
We will keep you up to date on all the deals. We're hanging out here reacting as they happen. Fred Katz from The Athletic reporting at this hour that Dennis Schroeder has agreed to a deal with the Sacramento Kings. No details on it quite yet. Shams providing some details at this hour about the Michael Porter Jr. deal that I'm just going to pass along as well. Almost 1.5 hours into free agency, the Nuggets land Cam Johnson via trade for Michael Porter Jr. Bring back a fan favorite, do it all for it, and Bruce Brown. Yep, okay. Yep, cool. Thanks for that tweet.
And also, we have some super chats that we still need to get to and
Yeah,
some new
okay,
ones
let's
too.
get some super chats as we continue to talk Dennis Schroeder. What else could the Kings be doing? Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. All it does is help our channel grow so basketball sickos around the world can consume our content all year long. Someone says donates $5. It's Peber. Let's just. Well, we got another update here. I'm sorry. It's an end of an era for the Golden State Warriors.
For who?
Kings killer in 2023 playoffs. Kevon Looney has agreed to a 2-year, $16 million deal with the Pelicans. My goodness, Joe Dumars hooking up Kevon Looney. I remember one person told me, like a year and a half ago, Kevon Looney, awesome guy. His hips are made of mashed potatoes. Like they're not in good. They're not in a good position.
I don't.
But Kevon Looney, a fan favorite for a long time with the Warriors, gets 2 years, $16 million with the Pelicans.
Okay.
At this hour.
With the Pelicans.
Also, a detail on D'Angelo Russell with the Mavericks. Yeah, it's a 2-year deal, but the second season is a player option, so that's really good for him as well. More super chats real fast. Not to be a downer, if we sign Westbrook, how do we win games starting with 3 ball-dominant guards with the defensive skills of a ham sandwich?
Oh,
Where's the laugh?
don't give it the laugh.
You know,
This is so not meant to be. Don't give it the laugh.
Did you delete my laugh?
I didn't do.
You deleted the
anything.
laugh, dude. That's not funny. Okay, Mitch donates $5. If we aren't winning anything this year, why not just let Monk play point guard and not trade for guys that will be gone next year anyway? Because it didn't work, and you need to maximize. Like, okay, so then the vibes are bad. Everyone's playing poorly, not being maximized to their fullest, and then they have 0 trade value.
And you're spending, and you're as a team and as an organization, you're spending a lot of money for nothing.
Yeah. And then we got a couple of, we addressed that why Scott Perry, blah, 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 blah. Appreciate that donation. Also, Nando donates $10. So does Keon start at point guard and Dennis off the bench or vice versa? Well, I don't think Keon Ellis isn't a point guard.
Yeah.
So he will not be starting at point guard. Dennis Schroeder, I would imagine, would be starting at point guard. But there is some talk that maybe, just maybe, that Westbrook could be here too. So, yeah. Should we go over some of these deals around the league right now? Is it time to go over what we have learned since the start of NBA free agency? Deuce and Mo here with you. It's 2025 NBA free agency. We are getting reports at this hour. The Sacramento Kings in the news. Fred Katz from The Athletic saying that the Kings have agreed to a deal with Dennis Schroeder. No details yet on the terms of that agreement. That's not the only Kings-related nuggets. Jake LaRavia, there was some hope that maybe he would come back to Sacramento. Nah. The fans calling him Jake the Snake as he slithers his way to Los Angeles to join Luka and the Lakers. 2 years, $12 million for Jake LaRavia. Dorian Finney-Smith gets 4 years, $53 million to go to the Houston Rockets. He leaves the Lakers. Paul Reed back to Detroit, 2 years, $11 million. Cam Spencer, Santi Aldama, Jaren Jackson Jr., all going back to the Memphis Grizzlies. D'Angelo Russell gets a 2-year, $13 million deal, a player option included to go to the Dallas Mavericks. And how about Ty Jerome? He's also going to Memphis, 3 years, $28 million after a really strong campaign with the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Denver Nuggets, they're active. They have made a big trade today, sending Michael Porter Jr. to Brooklyn in exchange for Cam Johnson. But it ain't straight up. Denver also included a 2032 unprotected first-round pick in the deal to go to Brooklyn. So Cam Johnson to Denver. They also signed free agent Bruce Brown, who returns to the Denver Nuggets after winning a ring with Denver a couple of years ago. That's the very latest. And, oh wait, how could we forget? The end of an era. Kevon Looney leaving the Golden State Warriors. Joe Dumars throwing him 2 years, 16 million. What? Wow.
You want to know the saddest thing in the world? He's shaking.
He's shaking. Why? Is it a gun?
I think because the money gun.
Dude, okay. So Bojack hates the money gun.
I've
and
nean seen him shake.
can I hide that money gun?
Yeah. Wait. Let me hide. Stop. Good job. Go. Dude. Oh my God. It's okay. The money gun is gone. It's gone.
The money gun's gone because Joe Dumars took it and shot it
all the way
to Kevon Looney.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna give him a little treat.
Yeah, you go do that. So we are patiently waiting to see what happens next in NBA free agency. Man, 2 years, 16. Kevon Looney was with him for 10 years too. My goodness. Speaking of the Warriors too, there's been talk. If we want to get some other rumors involved earlier today, nothing official. They are looking to upgrade the center spot, so they lose Kevon Looney, but there's talk that they are interested in Al Horford, who is a free agent. So we'll see how that plays out. The Lakers have also been tied to a couple of free agent big men, including Brook Lopez, who was once there in LA, and then Clint Capella. But there's also some talk that maybe, just maybe, DeAndre Ayton, who was waived yesterday, they reached a buyout agreement with the Blazers, could end up going to the LA Lakers. They're in serious need of a center. Remember last year, it was like Jackson Hayes, Alex Len. My goodness. Morgan, question.
Yep.
Can I have a LaCroix, please?
Yeah.
A Kirkland brand LaCroix, please.
One left. Only one left.
No, there's more. Got to stay hydrated when you're doing the NBA draft show. Also, if you haven't done it yet, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. If you have questions along the way, we will get to them. How about the super chat? This is from HMO something. Next Kings move will be a big 3-team trade. Eye emojis, book it. Okay, we will remember that at this hour.
Sweet.
Oh, man. Someone saying Al Horford should be interested in retirement.
Damn. Don't tell anyone when it's time to retire.
Yeah, I think the Warriors will be like the only team older than the Kings next year if everything tracks right.
Well, yeah, that doesn't even faze me. You can't faze me. I have zero expectations for next year. It's NBA free agency.
I
day
have expectations.
of no
Really low to the ground.
What was
They're
that?
very low. Nick says, hey, if you're real, you'll shotgun it. Shotgunning a Kirkland brand LaCroix. I can't
or an
do
Ollie
that.
Pop. Like
I will say this. If the Kings make the 3-team trade that whatever that guy's name said, yeah, trust me, we might shotgun a beer just to celebrate him being right. Even if it's a bad thing. Even if it's a bad trade.
Okay, deal.
Okay? Deal.
Shotgun a beer, like it that would get really messy in here. So you
I'll just
chug it, yeah.
Oh.
3-team trade.
We were just talking about Al Horford. Well, the Celtics have lost another center. Luke Cornett. Luke Cornett is going to the San Antonio Spurs.
Really?
4 years, $41 million. 4 years, $41 million for Luke Cornett. Good for him. Cornett getting a 4-year deal to go back up. Victor Wembanyama?
I guess.
Okay.
I was excited to hear where he was going to go.
4 year, 41.
San
Cornett
Antonio.
about it, huh?
Like, all right.
Cornett about it, huh?
Hey, Cornett about it.
Cornett about it.
Cornett about it. Oh my God.
Someone's saying on names, why does this chat use email names and not YouTube names? No, I think they're YouTube names. I don't know what's going on with the chat today. Look, it does look different.
Oh yeah, a lot of numbers.
Are we surprised? I mean, I know like centers are. It's like they're. It looks like they're making a comeback here. I guess I don't know, but like the Looney one is like shocking to me.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to know if there's an option in there. I'm just like, well, the Pelicans are just such a weird. Okay, I said the Kings might be one of the weirdest teams in the league. I will say this.
Good.
The Pelicans are also one of the most weird teams. Like what they did in the draft, trading up 10 spots and moving an unprotected pick next year, getting Jordan Poole. They still got DeJounte Murray, the Zion thing. Like, is that going to work out? They've got Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. You've Messi, who was a really talented rookie. And then they had Looney. I don't know. It's weird. It's all weird. Oh, man.
Yeah, I guess you could say that roster or what they're trying to do is because like
I
feel
just
like,
can't believe they gave up an unprotected pick next year. That's either Milwaukee or theirs to move up 10 spots in the draft. And then 2 years to Looney. Like, I think Looney's like one of those vets that you love having on your team because he's a great guy. I mean, you will not find someone that says a bad word about him with the Warriors, but I don't know that many teams were lining up to give him, a multi-year deal. I'd say a 1-year deal, but man, yeah.
maybe he likes him. I don't know.
So
I don't know. I just I am curious like what their goals are because you are in a Western where, for example, like they have a star player in Zion, right? And I think when you look at the Sacramento Kings, there's no like star player that you have to make sure, we have to capitalize on their years. I think before we were trying to capitalize on the duo of Sabonis and De'Aaron in their prime years. What can you build around them? Blah, blah, blah. Went to shit quick. And so now with the Pelicans, I just go like, do you care about capitalizing on his years? Like what?
I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, so they had DeJounte Murray, Jordan Poole. They draft Jeremiah Fears at like 7 or whatever. They trade up for Derek Queen, who's also a big. You've got Zion, you've got Herb Jones, you got Trey Murphy, Messi last year who had some good moments, and then you had Looney too. It's just a very, I don't know. I'm just interested. What is the path here? And maybe they got more moves to go. It just really seems strange to me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Should be a fun. Oh.
Wow.
What?
Very interesting one. The Houston Rockets have been busy today, and we have an update. They have someone they're very familiar with. Clint Capella going to the Houston Rockets, a place he spent a lot of time with James Harden. They're signing him to a 3-year, $21.5 million deal. The Houston Rockets are not fucking around. Remember, Steven Adams was so big for them last year. They have Alperen Şengün.
Yep.
Clint Capella.
Uh-huh.
The deal is fully guaranteed 3 years.
Steven Adams. So you're looking. But you have so many bigs.
Huh.
Maybe they want to go in the direction of like being able to play 2 bigs on the floor when you're going up against some of these other matchups.
I think the name of the game this year now is just like versatility. We need to be deep at every position.
Yep.
And to be honest, you look at the Rockets now, it feels like they're just fucking deep at every position.
Yep.
Like you can criticize like, all right, you give Adams a new deal. Okay, Van Vliet, Thompson, Eason, Durant, Şengün, Jabari Smith, Steven Adams, Dorian Finney-Smith.
Who else did they sign today?
Just mentioned fucking Capella.
Hey, you've been dropping some.
I know. I'm just a little like, dude, they just like, they've got so many guys. Like, I don't know. How are you playing all these guys? Well, is something about to happen with Houston? Are they about to make a trade? What's going on with them? What was the Steven Adams deal, by the way? Steven Adams re-signs, because that was like last week. Let's see here. He got a contract extension. He got 3 years, 39. Dude.
Maybe.
You know what? Honestly, what I think?
What?
Are they about? No.
What?
I don't know.
Ponder out loud.
Okay, I'm going to ponder out loud because who cares? It's just pondering here.
Yeah.
Are they about to make a Jaylen Brown trade with Şengün in it? And like you throw an East. I mean, I don't know in the picks. What can they do? Like they have some pieces. They could trade for Jaylen Brown.
What else could they put in there? Like what?
I mean, it's not. This is a wind horse. Like what's going on here? Like for Boston, we know their situation. Tatum out. It seems like it's going to be a complete makeover. there's been enough smoke about the Jaylen Brown thing. I mean, you sign Adams to an extension, you have Şengün, and then you have. Yeah, this is fascinating. We do have an update too from Detroit right now. Karis LeVert is going to the Pistons, 2 years, 29. Karis LeVert, 2 years, 29 million. And you know, that's a situation where they probably want to bring back Malik Beasley until these investigations started.
Yep.
So they capitalize on that. Who knows? We still don't know anything about Nikhil
Ew,
Alexander
ew,
Walker.
ew.
Morgan, are you guys with me with the real fast?
Well, thought it was an interesting
Yeah,
point.
because let's look at this. Rockets draft picks future. Because I don't memorize all this stuff, but I think they're in a good position here. So they've got their 2027 via Phoenix. Houston has the right to swap a 2027 first round pick for Brooklyn's 2027. Yeah. Okay. That's from I think that's from the Harden deal back in the day. They've got their own pick in 28. They've got a pick swap in 29. They've got their own pick in 2030, 2031, 2032. I think they're going after Jaylen Brown. I think we're going to see a Jaylen Brown Houston deal coming. It doesn't make a sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know. And does that move you if you're Houston? What you add?
Does it move you?
Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant,
Clint Capella.
You have Jabari Smith still.
Yep.
And then your bigs are just you're gonna roll with Capella Adams, which seems fragile to me because they're young, they're old, they've had health issues.
But when you talk about the rest of the roster, and then you also look at some of your defensive players and Eason and Thompson and you're building yourself a really good roster.
I would say this. I think Eason would be in the deal. He'd have to be in the deal. You probably put an Eason, Şengün, Reed Shepherd, and picks, and I don't even know if that all works out. I need the chat right now. Are you guys with me that this is setting up potentially for the Rockets to trade for Jaylen Brown this offseason? They signed Steven Adams and Capella? I mean, I read that right. Capella's going to Houston. Am I wasting time?
Read
here?
it again.
I love pondering this shit. Yeah, dude, Capella. So Capella, or someone in the chat could it be for Giannis? I think it's gonna be Jaylen. Yeah, Cam Whitmore could be in that deal too. I think it's something. I think we got something here.
Okay, calm down.
This is
nothing could
Morgan.
No, you just want it.
Morgan.
This is where
no. Here,
you've done this all day.
Why would they sign Clint Capella when they just signed Steven Adams and they have Alperen Şengün? Why?
They want to go with the two big line.
But they have Şengün. They're going to go two bigs with Şengün defending and some of the.
Wait,
they have Kevin Durant. They have Kevin Durant too. Why would they do that? And they already have length and size and athleticism with Thompson and Jabari Smith. And they just gave Jabari Smith a new deal. Why would they do that? Jaylen Brown time, baby.
Oh my God! Just calm down until if it actually.
And if you're Şengün, I mean, if you're the Celtics. I mean, if you're looking at, hey, this is a lost year, and you got rid of Holiday, Horford's out, you move Porzingis, then you're gonna get off Jaylen Brown's money, and for Houston, you're we're going all fucking in now, we're all in, and why can't it be us? Why can't we take down OKC with our length, size, athleticism, and experience, pedigree with Brown and Durant and the pieces galore?
Calm down about the Brown thing
it's happening. I'm telling you,
his basketball
I'm telling you.
antennas are just think. Come on.
Okay.
Come on. If it happens, then I'll be wow.
Let me ask you this. For the person saying they aren't trading Şengün. Why are we signing Capella and Adams to 3-year deals? Jizz Nation.
Okay.
That's his name.
That's
his name.
We don't need to read that name out loud.
Jizz Nation says, don't forget the Celtics have literally 0 bigs now. I think Deuce is cooking. Cornette's gone. Horford's gone. Porzingis is gone. They don't have any bigs. It's happening. Holy shit. Dude.
I've never seen this dog shake so much.
Is he still shaking?
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my.
He's going to die.
He's fine. How are we doing in the chat, by the way? Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I love the crowd here. Let me know what you guys think about my idea. Do you think that's happening? Jaylen Brown to the Houston Rockets.
It's the pondering is very
fun.
intriguing.
It's fun. It's almost like I'm cooking something, huh?
I mean, they would be cooking something. Your brain is just like,
All right. Should we give some updates around the league right now as people hang out?
give some updates.
Okay. Updates time. Let's go around the National Basketball Association. Free agency officially underway at 3. It was pretty quiet in the first hour. Pretty quiet. We heard that the Kings were meeting with Westbrook and meeting with Schroeder. There's been one report that the Kings closed a deal with Dennis Schroeder. Now, what's interesting about that, it was from Fred Katz with The Athletic, their senior NBA writer. Great guy. He's reporting it. No one else has reported it yet, not even Shams Charania. So, at this moment, we think Schroeder's coming to Sacramento. No details on that deal. The Grizzlies. Talk about activity from the Memphis Grizzlies. Bringing back Santi Aldama, Cam Spencer, then locking up a mega deal with Jaren Jackson Jr. They also reached terms on an agreement. Pretty solid contract, $9 million per year for Ty Jerome. He leaves the Cavs to go and sign with the Memphis Grizzlies. We also have news, Kevon Looney leaving the Golden State Warriors. Joe Dumars gets him on a 2-year, $16 million deal to go to the New Orleans Pelicans. We also had a trade alert come through, and it's a big one. The Denver Nuggets have traded Michael Porter Jr. and a 2032 unprotected first-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets. Michael Porter reuniting with Jordy Fernandez. Those two spent time together in Denver when Jordy was on Michael Malone's staff. Also, the Denver Nuggets bring back Bruce Brown on a free agent deal. Dorian Finney-Smith to the Houston Rockets. Houston also just signed Clint Capella to a 3-year deal. That is a lot going on. D'Angelo Russell, he is with the Dallas Mavericks, 2 years, $13 million. Don't forget about Jake LaRavia leaving the Sacramento Kings. He signs a 2-year, $12 million deal with the LA Lakers. And that, I think, is the very latest around the National Basketball Association as we approach the 5 p.m. hour. You all right?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
I'm just thinking about everything.
What?
All of it. Just everything.
I know what's in your head right now.
What's in my head?
The fact that I'm going to be right about Jaylen Brown going to Houston.
Well, seriously, looking at them shed all of their bigs, like all big players, especially, it's like, well, you're not. And yeah, I don't know.
I can't even read the chat right now. There's a lot of love about. I can't read it.
What?
People are chanting Jizzy, Jizzy, Jizzy.
No, no.
Okay, what am I supposed to do? I'm trying to engage with the people more.
Oh my God, all of you. Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No.
Bojack, what? Why is Bojack? Does he not like the fake money?
I don't think he likes the fake money either.
Seriously?
Yeah, he doesn't.
I'm going to do a Bojack a favor. Bojack the pup here. I'm picking up all the fake money.
Good. Yeah, he's like being so weird. Like, sorry, bro. Oh, yeah.
What would you guys do? What would you guys do if this wasn't fake money? We just had hundreds of dollars we're just throwing. That'd be crazy.
That'd be really cool, actually, Deuce. Like,
your super chats. Oh my God.
they're coming through the screen.
They're shooting out of a gun.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, Bojack, stop shaking. Such a little bitch.
Can I also say this?
What?
Can you hear me on the mic?
I can.
Can they hear me?
Yes.
I feel slightly stupid
Good.
that I spent money. I spent $12 on fake money.
What a good bit. Good bit. You even practiced the money gun one time yesterday.
I know.
Like I told you, hold it straight.
Dude,
Not up, straight.
Bojack is like, he's definitely relaxed now because look, it's gone.
It's all gone, Bo. All gone. Like, what is this? A child?
All gone, Bubba. Good boy.
$12 on fake hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
I mean, think about that. Like, hey, what kind of business do you have? Well, dude, I got in this business. I just make fake money And these idiots, they spend $12 on fake $100 bills.
To put it into a money gun. Oh, good. He just doesn't.
Dude, he did not like the fake money.
What a weird.
Okay. Also, is it slightly quiet now because this deal that Boston, Houston, I'm guessing, could be working on is including other teams?
Could it be something as crazy as like the Pelicans being involved with
Yeah.
something with Zion or?
Oh, well, now you're getting too wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
said
think they're
there
keeping
could
Zion.
be multiple teams.
Maybe the Kings and the Miami Heat. Like, are we going like 4-team? Oh my God, the possibilities are endless. AJ Davidson says Houston with too many bigs, Celtics with no bigs. Schroeder deal not confirmed. Sign and trade incoming. Expect Monk to be involved. Wow, that's interesting. Brooklyn Denver deal isn't done. The third team has to be involved because of Porter's money. We got a lot cooking tonight, and we may be on until midnight.
No.
But you're fine. We're hanging out.
Yeah, but then I do want to make sure. Yes. What?
What are you worried about? What do you got going on today?
I have a phone call, but that's it.
Why don't you take the
Yeah.
honestly do a phone call?
Okay.
And I will tell this if it breaks, I will
Yes,
interrupt
scream
your
at
phone.
me.
Can I before you go? I know this is really funny. You're gonna make fun of me. Before you go, can I go to the bathroom? I just have to wash my hands.
This is such.
I just have to wash my hands.
No, that's such a lie. You're gonna pee. You're gonna pee. Let's see. Someone just said, why? Someone telling me to look at a tweet. Let me see. Let me see why before I mention anything. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Hey, Deuce. When you get back here, I have to show you a tweet. Yeah, sure. Okay. I know. Deuce is washing his hands. Dog is shaking because of fake money being put into a money gun to celebrate free agency.
Okay. What's up?
That is what I just saw, but I don't know.
Let's put it on the screen. You know the rule is if we
Okay.
get a tweet that's got information,
You
we
talk.
put it on the screen. Morgan's gonna step away to take a phone call. Okay, this is from our buddy Matt George. If what I was hearing this morning has any validity to it, there's a reason why the Schroeder signing hasn't been confirmed. For the record, I 100% believe it's happening, but the Kings are working for more, and how they sign Schroeder is part of it. Woo, okay. What does this mean? What does this all mean? Is part one like, hey, Schroeder, we need you to take a little less. We're trying to bring Westbrook in. But also, again, this is one thing about the whole like potential of a Westbrook and Schroeder deal. Like, if you're both, like, do you want to compete against each other for that? Like, if I'm Schroeder, I'm like, no, I'm gonna go star somewhere. I guess your options are limited. And if you're Westbrook, you do want to back up Schroeder? Maybe you're cool with it. Yeah, people are wondering, could it be a Monk thing? Yeah, I mean, I have to imagine Monk would be gone in that case. I don't know. This is fascinating to see how this plays out. Let's see here. Go back to the chat. I have so many windows open right now. Sabonis for Brown. I don't think that's happening. Oh, man. The anticipation is, it's crazy. Let's see here. See what else people are saying on social media. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that there's been enough reporting now that the Westbrook Sacramento stuff is serious, and it's something I heard weeks back. outside of Sacramento that like Westbrook has interest in coming to Sacramento. I'm like, what? Really? And it's like, well, it does make sense for him. Like, there could be a starting spot for him. They're probably paying him more than what he was being paid last year. That's why he opted out in Denver, because he knew he had something else out there. It's a chance to be in California. Like, it checks some boxes for him. And he loves to play. And so I could see that situation for him. That's what it's a little murky right now. It's like, okay, are they really trying to add both? If they are, there's got to be more in the works. And even so, there's still questions. If you're going to add more, there's still questions. Deuce, give me your free agent signing ranking so far. Oh, God. I can tell you the deals I like. I mean, I think the LaRavia deal is great. LaRavia deal to LA is awesome. And this is a situation where Finney Smith opts out in the final year of his deal after you trade for him at the deadline. He's Luka's guy. And you're like, God, really? But he had more money from Houston, right? They offer him a shit ton of money. Ooh, we have an update. The Lakers are searching for a big. One of the bigs that they were talking about was Brook Lopez. He is going to LA. The LA Clippers. Brook Lopez leaving the Milwaukee Bucks, and he is going to the LA Clippers. 2 years, $18 million. How much does he have left in the tank? I mean, for a backup big, come out, can hit some threes. I know he's not moving as the years go by, but he also doesn't have to start. Zubats can carry the load with the Clippers. Zubats was spectacular this year with the Clippers. But Brook Lopez, how much does he have left in the tank? He gets 2 years. $18 million to go to the LA Clippers. I bet you Ayton's going to the Lakers. You're asking me to rank some of them. I mean, I always tend to look at like, dude, who got like kind of a good deal. I think the Ty Jerome deal for Memphis is a good deal. Like, he's not making a shit ton. He provides you something. You don't have to, like, Ty Jerome felt like, oh God, is this going to be a guy who gets overpaid by someone and maybe be in a role that he won't thrive in because he'll be, hey, he's a starting point guard. And it's like, he's not a starter. Like, or, you know, he can, but he's more of a bench guy. I think that Ty Jerome deal going to Memphis on 3 years, $28 million, that's a really solid deal for the Memphis Grizzlies. The D'Angelo Russell one, I'm not a huge fan of D'Lo, but for Dallas, it's like, dude, you get him 2 years, $13 million. He can opt out after 1 year. Do a lot worse than that. Finney Smith, that was a lot of money to give Finney Smith. I felt like the years more than anything. You know, 4 years for him to go to the Houston Rockets. 4 years, 53. Damn. But I think I always look at the deals that are like, oh, how do you pick? The Lakers getting LaRavia after losing Finney Smith is a really nice pickup. Like, all right, if Finney Smith opts in, you're paying him $15 million. Okay, like you like him, great leader, can defend all that. But LaRavia is younger, and he's only getting paid $6 a year over 2 years. Damn. Anything new in the last 30 minutes? No, I mean, I think everyone's kind of waiting from Sacramento's perspective. What is going on with Dennis Schroeder? Because Fred Katz says he has agreed to a deal with Sacramento. No one else has confirmed it yet. There's been reporting out of Sacramento, Matt George mentioning, like, I think it's going to happen, but there's a reason it hasn't been announced yet. Shams hasn't announced it. Is it a part of a larger deal? One of the things Deuce Mason's monitoring, Windhorse style, is what is happening with the Houston Rockets. You sign Steven Adams, right? I love what Steven Adams provided in the playoffs. What a story after being injured for like 2 years. He was big, right? They give him a new deal. And then they sign Clint Capella. They already have Şengün. What's that about? And so I'm wondering, what is Houston's pivot here? There's got to be a trade in the works around the league. And I was speculating, could they be taking a swing at Jaylen Brown? We'll see.
You're going back over your theory.
While you were gone.
Oh, while I was gone.
Brook Lopez went to the Clippers.
Really?
On 2 years, $18
million.
million.
No, million. Because that's the.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know Kelly Clarkson's song. Just let me cook some.
Since I've been gone. on. Brooke Lopez went to the Clippers. He went for 2 years and 18 million.
I don't think that's how it goes, but that's fine. Someone in the chat, who is this? RPG says Brooke Lopez just did it to be closer to Disneyland.
Oh, well.
That's a great point. We did not factor that in.
Yep. Great.
The Lakers were interested in Brooke Lopez, so now they pivot. And they were also interested in Clint Capella, which tells me they must be feeling good about the prospect of adding someone like DeAndre Ayton, which I think that would be a good pickup. I know people are like anti-DeAndre Ayton, but I also go perspective. DeAndre Ayton, like the Lakers' big situation the last couple of years, especially after moving on from AD.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, is it an upgrade over Jackson Hayes? Yes. Is it an upgrade over Alex Len? Yes. Like, Luka, Ayton, it's kind of funny. Same draft class.
Oh, yeah.
Same draft class. You know,
Very
he was number one in
interesting.
that draft. I actually think that would be a good pickup for LA.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton, how old is he again?
26?
I always.
I don't know. 20. I don't know. God.
He is 26. Yeah. I mean, still just young, but like, this is so mean, but I remember last year in Portland when it was by the way, I think I'm wrong in this, but he couldn't make it to a game because the icy roads.
Yeah.
Like,
and you wanted him to like fly there? Like,
no. And
like
I remember it bothered me so bad. I'm like, I would do anything I could to get to my job. Like, you couldn't stop me. There's only one time a concussion stopped me from getting to a job. That was the only thing. Yeah. So it's like, so it really bothered me. I was like, what does he really want it? Does he really want it? So like that question always lingers. But then I liked him in a new situation, seeing just playing with different players. And so, yeah, another new situation, it's an upgrade for that team and see what he can do.
Not officially going there yet, but.
Oh, if.
Rasputin says Lopez is an old man, terrible signing for the Clippers. I mean, I don't know. They have Zubats. He's coming off the bench. You're right. I mean, he may not do anything, and then he's just collecting $9 million. I'm not like hyping it up. I don't think it's awful. The backup, big, experienced. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that Matt George tweet was interesting. It makes you feel like there's things in the motion around the league right now.
Because we haven't heard the details still.
Right.
Since
There's
I've been
none.
gone.
I mean, Fred Katz is the only one to report that he's agreed to a deal. No terms of the deal, which we all assumed everyone's like, hey, it's 2 years, 28 probably. Yeah, I don't know. So,
well, what's our goal then? Stay on until that happens?
I'm just getting fucking started.
I'm just asking. It's only been 3 hours. I know.
Only been on 3 hours. How about this? How about this?
Yeah.
The people are here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm more just asking. Like, I just want to know.
I would say this.
Yeah.
And I want the chat to chime in though too.
Okay.
They're a community, right? They've hit the thumbs up. They've subscribed. They support us. You guys are here for a free agent extravaganza. I think we should go to 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 1 hour from now.
Okay.
1 hour from now. And then if there's nothing going on, close the books. But if something after we're done, we have to go back on. We'll have content on it. We're gonna do a podcast.
Oh, for sure.
We're not done with content. I feel like that's the play here. I mean, Morgan can also leave at 6, and I could kind of cook for a little bit too, because you know me, I like to be.
Morgan could leave at 6, and I could cook. Yeah, like you're just.
Let me cook. Well, here's the thing with me. If I'm not here I'm just going to be on my phone waiting for deals and chatting about it. I might as well do it live.
True.
You know?
That is true.
I will say this. I do get like slightly dehydrated when we do these things.
So, you being serious?
Yeah, I just could tell. Because I'm talking so much. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm talking too, but I don't get dehydrated. I get hungry.
Let's see if anything
Always
else is
hungry.
going on. I'm on my Twitter feed searching to see if anyone's got like any, like, hey, this rumor
I know. I'm looking. I'm searching.
Alan Stiles just put up Malik Monk is a name to monitor as league circles view him as the odd man out on the current roster. Yeah. I mean, that kind of, I mean, if you're looking at Schroeder and another guard, I guess that makes sense. What do you think about that deal with Denver, by the way? The Denver Porter deal. I mean, I guess it's probably going to include more because of the money, but just on the surface of like Denver just adding Cam Johnson and then Bruce Brown.
I think for Denver, because when you do look at Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Johnson, and you see some of the similarities in their games and their health history and all those things, it's like you're just kind of trading for new opportunities, different fits, maybe with different players around. It's like very similar guys just being swapped to these two different teams. But I think the Bruce Brown angle too, what he brought with his energy to the championship roster and everything, and like what he left because he wanted more money, right? He was unrestricted free agent at the time.
Yeah.
After
they couldn't pay, they decided not to pay him. It was Calvin Booth was just like, all right, we'll move on.
And so it was like okay, and like
I feel like we just haven't seen a lot from him either.
No.
He had injuries, the trades, wasn't playing. So
No.
it's been tough for him.
So like maybe going back into an environment that he feels comfortable in, that he knows, I don't know, maybe there's something to it. It doesn't do a whole bunch for me. If I'm Jokic, I'm still like, what else are we doing? Your things are looking pretty tough against Houston, OKC, Western Conference. Still pretty tough unless you're making all the right tweaks.
Let's give some love to the people who have been with us the whole time here, and also a special shout out to people from the chatty house of D-Lo and KC who have popped in after they just did their long ass stream extravaganza. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Thanks,
as we're going to be
guys.
hanging out here for a little bit longer. Waiting for shit to happen in free agency, and stuff has gone down, but we're waiting to see what's really going on with the Kings. What's going on with the Kings? Schroeder apparently has agreed to a deal with Sacramento, but it's not done yet. Are there some other moving parts? What the hell is happening? Could they be adding Westbrook and Schroeder? Does that even make sense? What's it mean for Malik Monk? Also, I have thrown out my wild theory of the day. You saw Houston. Houston signed Clint Capella to a 3-year deal. This is after signing Steven Adams to a 3-year deal. And they have Alperen Şengün. They just signed Dorian Finney-Smith today, gave Jabari Smith an extension. Now they trade for Durant. Are they about to put a mega blockbuster trade together to send Şengün, I don't know, Tari Eason, Reed Shepherd, and picks to the Boston Celtics for Jaylen Brown? Could happen.
But it hasn't yet.
That's the one I'm pushing right now. But we're just kind of sitting here waiting to see what's going down with the Kings and what the hell is next. It seems like it's kind of like the calm before the storm. Like, shit, what's about to go down? We hear the Schroeder news, but no one else has officially reported it. What's going on with the Westbrook Zoom?
The Zoom call. We're all wondering. It's so
Who's up first? Schroeder or Westbrook? And were they both on the
probably
call?
Schroeder.
Okay.
Schroeder was up first.
Yeah.
I love that I say that with so much confidence, just because that was reported first of something actually happening out of it. But I have no idea. I have no idea.
Biggest thing you guys can do, by the way, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. All it does is help our channel grow. So more basketball sickos around the world can do it. Can find us. West Side Kings fan, been a member for 37 months, saying, Deuce, can you please say it in your John King CNN voice? I have not really busted that out today,
Yeah.
Am I losing you?
No,
What's going on with you?
you didn't lose me.
What's on your mind?
There's just a lot on my mind.
Name 3 things.
No. BoJack.
Okay.
The details for the Kings.
Okay.
Like that's just weighing on me.
Okay.
And just like work life.
Okay.
Like Just work
You
life.
want to tell me in my ear real fast? I'll mute us.
Sure.
Okay. I'm not going to react. No one will even know. Okay. Thanks for the update. All right, there's Morgan Reagan there. All right, appreciate that update.
You're welcome.
Breaking news at this hour. So CNN, can I do that?
And
Well-
now, too, wait, really quick. I feel more energized that I got to like
Thank
release
you.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to release that. Well, Wolf, we got a lot of movement. NBA free agency teams moving around. We got players, movement, a lot of money, a lot of details. We're trying to navigate this. We're going to start with the capital city, Sacramento County, California, West Coast Kings. Been up and down, right? They're trying to flip that state. Not a lot of stability, okay? That state has turned different colors over the year. Mainly Warriors. Could the Kings flip it? Looks like they're in a tough spot at this hour. We could tell you they went over to Michigan, looking at Detroit, Lansing, talking to Dennis Schroeder. Could they get him to come to the capital city? How does it make sense? We're not sure. We're not sure at this hour. He could play point guard. But could they be talking to a different point guard? Yeah, let's take a look at Colorado, Denver, Mile High City. We saw last year Westbrook went there. He's been all over. 6 teams, first 11, Oklahoma City. And the pivot he made has been all around, right? He goes to Washington. He goes to Houston, LA teams, Denver. Now talking Sacramento. Could he and Schroeder be joining the Kings, capital city? We'll find out. But that could lead to some more movement. There's talk at this hour. Could Malik Monk, could he be flipped? Where could he be going at this hour? We don't know. Oh my goodness. Wolf. Luka Garza on the move. 2 years, $5.5 million to go to the Celtics. He is going to Boston at this hour. We'll keep you up to date. Luka is being moved.
Luka
Guys,
is being moved.
holy shit, dude. Luka is on the move again.
No!
Luka is going to the Celtics.
That'd be wild.
Shit.
Shit!
Oh man. Really eager to see what the hell happens with Sacramento
Same.
tonight because the Schroeder and Westbrook dynamic. A couple of things. One, are they trying to do something? One, they have to make a move if you're adding Schroeder and Westbrook, and I think no matter what, they have to make a move.
No.
But is that move also going to allow them to give like Keon an extension now? And like how they find the time for Keon Ellis to play?
Yeah.
Like Keon may just go, you know what? I'm just going to wait till next year. I'll be an unrestricted free agent and some team's going to pay me a good amount of money and I'm going to start for them. Where in Sacramento this year, speaking of John King,
Yeah.
where is his path to start right now with Sacramento? He's not starting a point guard.
Wait,
Is
you're
that-
saying with who?
Is it Keon Ellis?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Yeah.
Where's his path? Like at this point in time, with how the team is constructed, he's coming off the bench. And how many minutes is he getting? What kind of offensive opportunity? My biggest concern with the Kings right now is I think this offseason, the priority should be finding ways to get more offensive opportunity, one for Keegan Murray, but also give more time for Keon Ellis. And I'm not seeing at this point in time either one of those things happening.
I guess we keep going back to this world of what we keep hearing, and that is like the Kings interested in both Westbrook and Schroeder. Or Schroeder is signing with the Kings. We don't have any details, so we don't know what the hell else is happening. And so whenever we go to that scenario, though, we automatically okay. Well, then they're moving Malik Monk, right? So then we live in that world of thinking that's one less person with the ball in their hands, facilitating, blah, 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 blah. What are they adding for that too? What are they adding for that? Because then we keep going, well, Keon and Keegan need the ball in their hands too. Zach LaVine and DeMar are still in this team as well. And even if we would prefer them to be put on the back burner, so then people like Keegan and Keon can keep developing their game and keep contributing to this team with the ball in their hands a lot more.
Even some of the young guys, Nick Clifford.
Yeah, I just don't know what this all looks like. I don't know.
Yeah. And so, and to me, it's just, it kind of is what it is with this roster. Like, I don't envision a scenario where Levine's getting traded. Who's trading for that contract? Right? Like, no one's trading for Sabonis' deal right now. And DeRozan, I actually think there's a possibility if they wanted to move him that they potentially could. But even that, it's like he gets owed 25 this year and then the 10 million partial guarantee of next year. Maybe that's a little more enticing as we go down the road toward the trade deadline. So.
Yeah. So I just need something else to happen news-wise, even for the Kings.
What, Luka Garza didn't move the needle?
For the Kings.
Oh.
So then I can because right now my mind's just everywhere with it. It's just like all mumbly jumbly.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the idea of honestly either or Schroeder or Westbrook. We do have a new development in the National Basketball Association at this hour. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Wow. There's rumors about this. He's going to the Atlanta Hawks. 4 years, $62 million. The Hawks, Morgan?
Yeah.
This team's fucking intriguing. Trae Young, Porzingis, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Okongwu. They've got length. They've got size. They've got some shooting. They've got dogs. And if you're going to have Trae Young on your team, you're going to have some length and size around him. They have that. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had a great season.
Huge.
Minnesota loses him. I think they believe they have some other guys that can fill the void. Jalen Clark, Terrence Shannon. Do those guys kind of step in and fill the void? But how about the Atlanta Hawks? Their new front office, not fucking around.
Nope. I mean, that's a great pickup. And if you didn't know, that is SGA's cousin. If you didn't know.
No shit.
It's
Are you being serious?
So
Did they?
you guys.
Why didn't they mention that when Minnesota was playing Oklahoma City when SGA and they're related?
They never mentioned it on the broadcast. It was so weird. It was
I'm sorry, that's worth a mention.
Yeah.
Or
it's like they just went away from it. They
They're
never mentioned their cousins, and nobody knows that. Nobody's in this world knows that.
that's wow.
I'm waiting for someone to shit on me. We're obviously joking because they mentioned it 700 billion times on the broadcast.
Commercial Cowboy, I'm sorry, I will limit my F-bombs. You're listening with little ones here. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. See?
My bad.
Yeah.
No, you know what?
Literally.
You know what's funny though? It's because I forgot I did forget to turn on our
What?
we have an automatic sensor that leads it. Like we'll cover that up. So if we do cuss, it's just like, let's try it. How about the Hawks? Did it work?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to try?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see it.
Yeah.
Which one? This one? Okay. So
Why would you say that? That was rude.
therapeutic.
Oh my God.
You're not good at acting.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Yeah. Someone was just saying in the chat, Aaron saying the East is wide open. Dude, I mean, you think about Tatum, his injury, Halliburton. The Knicks, like, yeah, they're flawed though, right? I think the Pacers can still be competitive, but the Hawks?
Yep.
I mean, the Pistons feel like they have a shot, although, like, I think the Pistons are kind of in a weird spot right now. I don't think they need to do anything crazy, but they wanted Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Even like Malik Beasley, like they wanted to keep him, and now he's being investigated. And maybe he gets cleared at some point, and it's all good, but like that kind of throws a wrench into their plans a little bit. They had some Schroeder interest.
I was throwing a wrench into the plan.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep.
Orlando, of course, they traded for Bane. I know they've been like the sexy pick. I like them too, but like I don't think we look at the East and go, that is the favorite. That team by far is the favorite. I think you can make a case for a lot of teams. You're like, hey, the Knicks will figure it out. They don't have a coach yet. Could be Mike Brown.
Yeah,
it could. He's,
I
I
know.
guess, emerging as a favorite. So Atlanta, I like what they're doing, and like it's the Trae Young contract extension situations like looming, but I think this is a good opportunity for them to be like, well, let's take a look at it. Like, let's build around him with size, length, and athleticism and see if we can survive the fact that, yeah, he's limited defensively
yep.
because of his size, but he is so explosive. Let's put a lot of talented pieces around him. That seems fun.
Yeah, and long. I mean,
Yep.
we mentioned that every single time, and it's truly what you need to fill your roster in today's NBA. Not only because it seems like some of these rosters are building teams with so much length, and you become a team that lacks size, then you lack so many different things that you are even able to do on the floor. The ability to get into the paint, sometimes the perimeter pressure, because these bodies are taking up so much room along the perimeter that you can't even fight your way in. I think it's what we saw in this year's NBA, especially. And I think when Minnesota did it a couple years ago, when they made the trade for Rudy Gobert, and they had Rudy and Kat, and we all just laughed in their face. Well, I did. I was so anti like the double big game. I was like, what are they thinking? How are they going to space the floor? Even with Kat being able to stretch the floor, I don't know why I was just like so anti it. It just shows you that the game is always evolving. And I'm not saying that it led to a championship, so it was successful, but you saw other teams having tough times with their matchups. And when you add certain depth, and especially if your depth is long, you add a roster of that, it's going in the right direction in today's NBA.
Someone asking, does this mean Trae Young is on the way out because of Nickeil Alexander-Walker signing? I know. I mean, I think this is the team they're rolling with. Someone in the chat says, imagine if the Kings had a guy like Halliburton. Well, it would suck this year because he'd be out for the whole year, you know? I mean, yes, we know. I don't know if you know this.
We know.
We've discussed the Tyrese Halliburton not being at the Kings thing a couple of times. Just a couple of times.
100 times.
Yes, we're aware. We're aware.
And we don't talk about it like it's just like, oh man, this sucks. Everything sucks. It's more just like, it's a fact.
It happened.
It happened. And then it's like the Kings had 100 point guards and 1 billion guards under 6'4". And now it's like they don't have any point guards, and except maybe after today.
They could have 2 after today, huh? Hey, they could have a former MVP, huh? So funny. In the chat, Neek, Keon, Keegan, Isaac Jones, and Maxime would be more fun to watch. Won't win more than 40 games, but will be more entertaining than the current lineup. I mean, yeah, they definitely would not win more than 40 games, but would it be more entertaining? No, it probably wouldn't, but your expectations would be so different, and you'd be like, oh, are we building something? We got young talent. We probably have a good pick. But all these people that are like, hey, the Kings need to just blow it up. I will just ask you the question. How? Well, trade Levine. Okay, who's trading? Who's trading for him? Do you want to attach a pick or future picks to get rid of Levine? That's not smart. How are you getting rid of these deals? I hear you, and I understand what you're saying. You don't want to be the team in the middle that's like borderline playing and then missing and then getting, the 12th pick in the draft every year. I understand that. But like, how are you doing it? This was the problem of acquiring Levine in this situation. You have a lot of expensive contracts. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's that's something I said probably in hour 2 of our watch party, which is that, look, if there's one thing, I don't care what happens. Like, I really don't care like what players come in. I think it's like that stopgap year for a lot of players within Sacramento. We still have to see what Scott Perry and his front office can do in their first year with a brand new head coach, like all these different things. So I'm just like, fuck, like do what you need to do. Oh, I forgot my button. But the only thing I don't want to see is some really crappy contract coming on, like that would look like another Zach LaVine like contract coming on to the Kings roster. And that's not going to happen, knock on wood. But like that would be, to me, something that would be super damaging, even more so than where they are now.
Someone's saying they're not going to get value back. They just need to take the L. It's like, yeah, but again, are you supposed to force these GMs to trade for Sabonis's 3 more seasons on his deal at 45, 46, whatever that is, and Levine's 2 more years at like 48? Like you can't force these things. These are hard deals to execute. when you have players making that much money, you have to like match that money. And are teams going to gut their teams to do this?
Yeah.
Like, no, they're not. You know, and it doesn't add up. So this is the situation. This is what the previous regime and the higher ups decided that they wanted, the path they wanted to take with De'Aaron, and this is what happened. And so now Scott's in there trying to figure out, how do I implement the vision I want with this team? I'm doing that by getting into the first round, drafting a guy in the second round, getting a guy on a two-way. Like, oh, these are the type of players I want. I think I have an idea of what I like about Keon and Keegan. And like, okay, we want two-way players. We want guys that are skilled. We want depth. And we need a point guard too. So we can complain all day about, oh my God, but they got this guy, this guy. It's like, yeah, these trades are not going to be easy to make. It's just, that's reality. And I'm eager to see what he can do. I am. It's definitely not going to be easy. By the way, the rookies are getting introduced. Nick Clifford, Maxime Reynaud, Scott Perry, and Doug Christie will be talking to the media on Thursday morning at 10 a.m.
All right.
Good to know.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing this Thursday.
Yeah, you're going to be there.
I'm going to play
You're going to be there.
10 a.m. Put that on my Google Cal.
Someone in the chat says they need to play Carter, Keon, and Clifford. That's the key. Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see the young guys get minutes. But again, navigating that is intriguing because you have all these players. Yeah, I don't know.
Looking back around the NBA, just at something big and random.
Around the league, around the league. Yeah.
When we saw yesterday the LeBron James, Rich Paul thing come out, like, oh yeah, you know, he wants to be put in the best position, whatever the shit was said. I don't even remember what Rich Paul said. But then today, Chris Haynes reported LeBron not intends on being there. It was like basically.
It was kind of the same thing as yesterday, though.
I
Chris
thought
Haynes
it
was like, yeah, Rich Paul says that like LeBron's probably going to be back with the Lakers, but you know, he wants to, like, I understand, like, maximizing Luka, but also like, you know, he wants to win. And it's like, we get it. Like, I just don't understand these games from like Rich Paul and LeBron. I'm like, yeah, LeBron wants to win a championship. Do you have to say that like every time you're like locking into a new deal? Like, no shit. Are the Lakers front office going, oh man, like, how do you think about that? Does he want to win? Like, yeah, no shit. Wow.
Okay.
This is a good pickup for the Orlando Magic. This might be one where Kings fans are going, why didn't we just do this?
Oh, what?
Free agent point guard Tyus Jones, 1 year, $7 million to Orlando.
Why didn't we just do
1 year, $7 million?
I mean, he's a free agent. He doesn't want to be in Sacramento then. That's why.
I mean, maybe they weren't as interested in him, but like the reality is like he's like an experienced, like steady point guard.
Yeah.
He's more of a bench guy in my opinion, but again, 1 year, $7 million.
Yeah, that's
Not a bad deal at all. That's big for Orlando.
That's huge. It's huge, and that's again, that's the type of player and contract you would love to have with your team that especially isn't going to be a big winning team in the Western Conference. Because I say that like that with the question mark, because I don't know what they're going to be. I just don't know. I don't know how the rest of the West is going to look. I don't know. I know that there's going to be some powerful teams like Houston.
See if anyone else is saying anything on Twitter besides Shams. I have my Shams alerts on, but no one else.
Oh.
So I just want to make sure we're not missing anything.
Where's my
1 year, $7 million, man. Good for him.
I didn't see the Chris Haynes thing I was talking about now, of course.
It might have been like a Yahoo put it out or something.
It was.
Like
There it is. Okay. It was. Chris Haynes said today, Rich Paul told me there's been no trade discussions. He believes the Lakers have what it takes to maximize the Luka timeline, but also maximize and prioritize his timeline. And I felt like yesterday it was more like, if. So anyway.
You never know. There's always like some mind games going on there.
That's true. Everyone just gets manipulated by Rich Paul anyway.
If you haven't done it yet, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and know that we're going to take this till 6 p.m. And if nothing happens, we're done. But we will be dropping, if shit goes down tonight, we're dropping a pod no matter what tonight.
Yes.
Even just kind of recap free agency
Yep.
and whether the Kings make a move or don't.
Make it tight
And
and
once
pretty.
stuff happens, we'll be on it too.
Yeah.
But it just feels like it was reported how long ago by Fred Katz? Like an hour
yeah.
ago.
Let's see.
Let's see here. Fred Katz.
An hour ago.
4:09. Over an hour ago, he tweeted out that Dennis Schroeder will agree to sign with the Sacramento Kings. League sources tell The Athletic. No one else has reported it yet. The numbers aren't out yet. And so it just makes you think, okay, there's more maneuvering happening. More negotiations are happening. Maybe some trades, another signing. Could it be Westbrook too? I don't know. So eager to find out. Man.
I know. I hate this. That's what I hate. I just hate I just haven't know.
Been a pretty active day though.
It
right?
has.
Like, we've seen like a flurry, and it was funny because it did start to happen in the 4 o'clock hour when people were like, hey, that's when the ESPN trade show starts. It's like, okay, of course. Sham's saving some for the trade show.
100%. That's
Yeah.
what happened. Yeah, McMahon is also saying the same thing. Rich Paul told me that he has not had any discussions with the Lakers about wanting to trade.
One other free agent note, Jordan Clarkson reached a buyout with the Jazz today.
Yeah.
Ian Begley reporting, he covers the Knicks, saying that the Knicks will be at the top of his list.
Okay.
Okay.
Who wouldn't want to be there?
That's fine. Get a guy and go get a bucket. That'd be good for them. Tom Thibodeau wouldn't have played him. Man.
It's funny. Giannis did an IG story with all of his awards.
Yeah.
Never had a chance to slow down and see how far I've come. Humble brag.
A shit
I'm
ton of
really
trophies,
good.
dude. That's so funny. In the chat, let's see. The Kings need forwards, power and small. No guard forward BS, actual forwards. Yeah, that's why I think that the Laravia thing is it's a tough loss for the Kings.
I agree. I think there's some people out there who go you only did this or whatever it is. And again, it's about filling a roster with the right type of players. And he's the right type of player from a physical standpoint of being long, being a taller guy out there, and just being able to play on both sides of the floor. Not just being a shooter, not just specializing in catching and shooting. It's no, the guy could get you still, push it on the other end, throw it down, set something up. Yeah, smart player, that type of effort, that mentality. And then he's on the Lakers. He's going to be wearing a Lakers jersey. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it is.
That's always
Yeah.
the most annoying.
I think it's a great pickup for them.
Yeah.
The baby daddy says, I'm actually okay with Schroeder if it becomes official. I mean, I'm okay with it too. It's like a stopgap thing. I mean, they're just in a tough spot. They need a point guard. I need someone in the chat just said the forwards thing. It's yeah, you say that. They need a point guard. They need a point guard. And I don't know what the options are. Do you go just a super young guy, inexperienced guy? I mean, I guess you could do that, but is that setting anyone up for success? I don't know. So we just have to wait for the terms to come out on the Schroeder thing to see what else happens. It's a bizarre team. I think two of the most bizarrely constructed teams at the moment, especially if Schroeder and Westbrook happen, would be the Pelicans and the Kings. And both teams going, yeah, what are they trying to do there? And it's, the good thing for Sacramento, they've got their picks going forward as of now. The Pelicans gave up an unprotected pick next year to move up in the draft. And then they just signed Kevon Looney to a 2-year, $16 million deal. Just weird.
It's all weird.
Yeah.
It's all weird.
What about Cam Thomas? Cam's not a point guard. I think that guy's going to go get buckets, and that's the thing. I think when we start talking about, I know Morgan was mentioning this about Westbrook earlier, and I agree with it. It's say what you want about Westbrook. We understand the warts. We do.
Yeah.
But I also think he's a guy that players around, his teammates love him. Coaches love him because the guy just brings it every day. He's intense. But to what Morgan was talking about earlier was Like, he is going to get downhill and he's going to be a facilitator. Like, what? I don't think Westbrook's coming to Sacramento going, hey, let me like jack up 20 shots a game.
No.
You know, like,
And I'm sure there could be moments.
oh, he will. Yeah.
That he will, or like feel necessary, want to be the hero, or and bad times will happen. But it's like, for the most part, how his career has evolved is, being that facilitator and being able to push the basketball still, because hasn't lost his speed. Even if he's lost a step in different ways, he hasn't lost his speed or his like dog like mentality.
Yeah. And he and Schroeder both have that like dog to them, which I do like.
Yeah.
But it's very bizarre too. Ken the Chat says we need a starting power forward. Yeah, ideally you'd be able to move Keegan to the 3. I think that would be beneficial and just get some more size. That's why, again, we go back to Laravia. I'm like, God, I thought at one point if they were able to somehow convince him to come back, maybe he could start at the 4 if you move some other pieces around. But that's out the window now. That is out the window. And yeah.
What a day.
It's been a day.
It's been a day.
It's been a day. And it's we started the day with Westbrook and Schroeder rumors, and we're still kind of in the same spot going, okay, what does this all mean?
We were
and
so close.
My rule is I don't get pre-mad at things anymore.
It's your rule, but have you actually?
Have I gotten mad today?
Whoa! You're already getting mad right now. You're getting defensive.
I'm asking a question,
but in a very defensive way. I'm asking, like, in some ways. Okay, I guess when you take deep breaths and stuff, you're not mad. You're just processing.
Just processing, man. Okay, someone just put this in the chat.
What?
RP. And I don't even know if this math works, but I'm all about a good trade scenario. What if it was Dennis Schroeder in a sign and trade and Tobias Harris to Sacramento for Malik Monk and DeMar DeRozan?
Say it one more time.
Dennis Schroeder.
Okay.
Just not trying to push back on you, but a little bit. Like, it was like I named 4 players. It wasn't that hard to like keep up with. So anyway, Schroeder and Tobias Harris for Monk and DeRozan. Are you serious?
No, I got it. Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, why?
Actually,
why
okay.
wouldn't
And you
do
know
that?
what? Financially, I think it might. Tobias is in the final year of his deal at 26. So you get off of DeRozan's deal technically because he's got 10 million in the final year of his deal.
Yeah.
You get a 4 that you could put Tobias at the 4. King goes to the 3. You get Schroeder in there. So all of a sudden you got Schroeder. You get off of so it would be Schroeder, Levine, Keegan, Tobias, Sabonis, Keon off the bench, maybe Westbrook off the bench. And
Wait,
whatever.
you had Levine in there though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Schroeder, Levine, Keegan, Tobias, Sabonis.
Yeah. I mean, I've always liked Tobias Harris,
I think,
even in his down times.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing for me, I'm just like, he's an expiring deal.
Yeah.
His money comes off the books. And like he does fill a position of need.
Yep.
He's got good size.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to change some shit up, like here's what the Kings need a point guard and they need size. That would accomplish both things there. And for Detroit, it would give them like a different look of having DeMar, a guy that can go get them, another guy that can go get them a bucket. Because right now it's Cade.
Yeah, that's true.
And they've got some size and length to maybe cover up for some of DeMar's weaknesses. And then Malik Monk kind of gives them that spark off the bench. Like, that seems like a nice trade for them.
Did someone else go to Detroit today? I forget. It has been active.
That's a good question.
Someone else did.
Detroit. Oh, Paul Reed resigned.
Oh yeah.
Paul Reed resigned with the
That's what it was.
Pistons.
Okay, big. Yeah.
RP, I gotta be honest. That's intriguing. I see it.
Karis LeVert.
Karis LeVert signed there too. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, look, I'm not like jumping for joy over it, but I'm like in my head, I'm like, okay, I see what the thought process would be there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No. Again, when you get off one thing that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's an asset that is going to lead to the greatest situation. It's not like, oh, DeMar's going to get you this. You got Tobias Harris on a expiring contract for it? Sure. Usually you don't want the expiring when you're here in Sacramento because you want to be able to keep whatever asset you can get. But they're in a weird situation with with this roster, with the players that they have. So you put yourself in a better situation with those type of looks.
I personally, here's my thing.
What?
I love Malik Monk. And like the prospect of him being
I know.
gone hurts me. I don't like the idea. And it sucks because I feel like the Levine deal is forcing the Kings to move on from Malik, where you're going, wait, this guy who's brings so much juice to a game, his pick and roll chemistry with Sabonis, like the fans love him.
Yeah.
He digs Sacramento. Like, I hate the idea of them moving him. And it just, I'm like, is this what they're going to be forced to do? Like, that's what I don't love it. You know, that's what it's the obvious one because you're like, okay, he's got a good contract, probably has more value. It bums me out. So, yeah. You feel the same about that with Malik?
Oh yeah. Like but that's the position that they put themselves in, and it's like in with Malik, him also having so many different opportunities in that starting role with Sacramento. I think he can be a starter in this league, but when he is coming off your bench, you know you're doing something right as a team in a roster.
Yeah.
Like it's even if that's not what he believes he is as a player, it's a really good thing to have him coming off your bench.
Michael says, why waste the money on Schroeder or Westbrook? I'd rather get a young guy. Okay, name the young guy. Let me know who that guy is that you would want that spot. I mean, I need some names. Just saying a young guy doesn't do it for me. Cool.
Yeah.
Young guy. Okay. I mean.
And we had mentioned someone like Tyus Jones, but
and Trey
because
Jones we mentioned.
Yeah, but even so, going to Tyus Jones, it's like you have to be able. They have to want to be here too. And in free agency, that always seems to be the most difficult thing for Sacramento, for a small market, but also for a market that hasn't seen a lot of winning or stability.
Trey Mann's been mentioned a couple of times. I'm just not like Trey Mann has struggled to stay on the floor, and he's an undersized guard who doesn't defend, and he's a scorer. Like, I just don't look at him as a point guard. Like, it doesn't mean he's got some youth on his side. That's a younger guy. That's fine.
It's nothing.
But I don't know. That doesn't really do it for me. I don't think that really solves your issue with the point guard spot. So we should go all in on Dame Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum. Okay. Stop it.
I see what
Stop
you did
it.
there.
Someone mentioning, Lizzie mentioning DeJounte Murray, the Pelicans' new GM, could be talked into it, I'm sure. Here's the problem with DeJounte. On the surface, you're like, oh, that's kind of intriguing. Like, okay, that's a lead guard, good size, has been an all-defensive guy. He has now in his career torn his ACL and is coming off a ruptured Achilles at 29, 30 years old. I mean, if that's the gamble you want to take, what's his contract long-term too? You know what I mean? Darius Garland, yeah, I mean, Darius would be nice. What's that look like?
Yep.
So,
Yep. Oh, of course. I mean, yeah.
what's the plan? I think the plan, Dan, is...
What's the plan, Dan?
The plan is like you want to get to a point to build this out where I think the modern game, you look at OKC, Indiana, some of the legit teams in the league, obviously, they've got so much depth. They've got like a couple of star quality players, but they've got depth and they have versatility. And that means offensive versatility and defensive versatility. They don't have a ton of guys that get hunted, maybe a couple, but then if those guys aren't working, they have another guy to go to. And you have to be able to guard multiple positions. You got to be able to shoot past dribble. You got to be able to push the pace. You got to be able to guard. Like, those things are important. And I think that the plan is Sacramento wants to build a team that can do those things. But anyone who can just look at the salary cap sheet of the Kings looks at it and goes, good luck. How is it going to happen? So that's just where it's at. Do you have a favorite move of the day so far around the league out of the moves we have seen? I was mentioning, like, someone was like, hey, what are your favorite moves? I said, I always look for like the underrated, like, hey, that's a solid signing. I thought the Ty Jerome 3 years, 28 to Memphis was really good.
Mm-hmm.
The LaRavia
To
to
Lakers.
go from Dorian Finney-Smith making $15 million, opting out, and then being able to get LaRavia, who's younger and cheaper,
Yeah.
a little more versatility out there. I thought that was a great pickup.
Some of the Houston ones, not just Clint Capella.
Dorian Finney-Smith goes there.
Yep. I just, well, and I guess the Clint Capella one, why it was intriguing more so is because we keep looking at, well, what are they trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
What's the next move? Why do they have 3 bigs? The one that wasn't intriguing, but now it's an interesting conversation is around Denver. Cam Johnson
Wow.
and Michael Porter Jr., the little swappy swap there, but then also Denver getting Bruce Brown. Again, bringing back that championship personality, that guy that really helped you get there, I guess, when you did. Has seen his downtime now, but is going back to a place that he's familiar with.
Played the best basketball of his career in Denver.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's that system or if it's just playing with Jokic or,
Yeah, dude.
whatever it is. So
It's almost like that Jokic guy makes players better.
it's almost like that Jokic guy makes players better.
Dude, like Cam Johnson may thrive in that too.
Maybe if he stays on the floor.
I think he's got, well, yeah. I mean, but I feel like that's the same thing with Michael Porter. Like
He played 77 games last year.
and to Michael Porter's credit, in the playoffs,
He stayed
that
on
guy
the floor.
had like, what was wrapped around his shoulder?
Shoulder, back, like all of his shit was fucked up. Sorry.
Yeah, Jesus,
Yeah.
technical, Morgan.
Sorry. Yeah. But yeah. So, and I think sometimes that change of scenery, the swapping of the 2 guys with similar games and Johnson and Porter Jr., it's like, yeah, just trying to make some tweaks, even if it's not the best ever crazy tweaks.
All right, someone's got a Chris Haynes tweet. Let's get to it. Showtime was saying Chris Haynes tweet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's not really a surprise. The Suns and Devin Booker are in talks on a contract extension. He is eligible, my God, for a 2-year, $150 million extension.
250?
No, 2 years,
2
$150 million.
Oh,
That's insane.
I just don't even understand how that's real life. Like, what?
Oh my God. 2 years, 150.
I'm just trying to shove like $100 in my 401k every month, like,
Dude,
come on.
75
Give me that money.
million for 1 year of basketball. Oh. Devin's like, I'm good. Now he asked out. That is crazy. Logan in chat wants to know if we're going to be at an A's Giants game. Yeah, we're actually going to be at A's Giants on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Watch a little Giants baseball.
Excited. That'll be my first A's game.
Be my 3rd or 4th.
And
Third.
then in your second Giants game of this season?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm a big baseball guy.
Hey,
dude.
he's a big baseball
I'm a huge
guy.
baseball guy, dude. Devers, man. Like, you know.
Devers.
Dude, Devers, he's
I'm not
got that
talking
power, right?
baseball.
Oh, man.
Not talking baseball. Burf.
Da.
Burf.
We've reached a point of the day where someone had an idea of bringing back Kessler Edwards. How do you feel when we're getting those types of messages at this hour?
I think they're feeling the same way that we're all feeling. It's like, what's going to happen? Anything else going on?
I already know what's going to happen, and we've done this before with our free agency. What's going to happen is we're going to turn off the stream, and we're going to hear it. Ding,
Yep.
ding, ding,
Then we
and
go-
open up and be like, oh, the Kings just made the move. That
Well,
happened with
if it-
Rashawn Holmes, remember?
I do remember that. But we were on for like 6 hours that day, I feel
Yeah.
like.
It's a good one, you know?
This will be 4?
4 hours.
Yeah. Wow.
4 hours, Bojack.
Time
That's
flies.
just Nothing.
When you're having fun. What was I going to say? Yeah. But I mean, if it's a big trade and we felt like
Yeah.
the need to come back on live or something, we
If it's
will.
a Kings thing, we can just
Yeah.
come back and
Because
just
why
talk about
not?
it. Yeah.
But we will definitely do a cleaner version, a roundup of all the moves of the day later on. Eat some pizza. That's what I've had today.
That's great. That's
Pizza
Pizza's
and
great, man.
and ice cream. I had an ice cream cone.
You did have an ice cream cone right before we had pizza. Your diet today has been pizza.
Well, it's after like I had a stretch of this because you were even at the Valkyries game. You and Mark Jones were at the Valkyries game yesterday.
Dude, that was so fun.
That's
Me and Mark
awesome.
Jones watching the V's.
Watching the V's, 30
V's up, dude. Get on board with the Valkyries.
Thank you.
I'm on board, baby.
I know.
We got a squad.
It's honestly, it's so and there's like Sacramento Monarchs fans there. Like it's there. It's Valhalla is the place to be. But what I was gonna say, there was just a stretch of so many games that like I feel very hungover. I do this during the NBA season too, where it's just like you get that one day off, which today is a day off.
Yep.
Totally a day off. Yeah. And then you're just like, I just need shitty food and things. And so that's all that was making me feel better. I don't know if I'm going to feel good tomorrow now.
I just saw a tweet from someone
Yeah.
that said Chris Webber made $178 million in his entire career. And Devin Booker is about to make $150 million over 2.
Look.
How times
Different
change, man.
times in our
okay.
economy as well, though.
Also, like,
What?
where does this end?
Right. And that's
Are we gonna like? Is it gonna stop at some point? It's like,
Well-
okay, like these guys are gonna make $100 million a year.
what were you and I talking about when we were watching some W the other day?
Well,
Yeah.
Here's a stat for you. The Valkyries. I was looking at like their cap sheet. Their entire roster, total, their cap, just over $1 million.
You heard that right. Like there's players making
Meanwhile-
70 grand living in San Francisco.
They're selling out 18,000 every game, merch
Yeah.
everywhere. WNBA is headed to an interesting time because they're going to get raises. There's probably going to be a lockout. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But the thing that we were talking about with that when we were watching the Valkyries and talking about just like the competitive style of play every single night. Doesn't matter if it's a Tuesday night, doesn't matter if it's the first game of the season, whatever. Like it is always just like so crazy. Like the intensity is just there, the physicality. And we were talking about how, well, it's like these players are playing to always keep their spot, to keep their minutes. The rosters are small. Like there's like this, like we were just talking about an hour ago of these players being waived
Yeah.
that are good basketball players that should be in the league that are waived now. And my whole point to this, when you're playing for something like in just like fighting for something, there's going to be a different mentality all the time. I mean, you see it in some of these players that come off the bench and get these small opportunities and only make $1 million or a couple $1 million and that's all they make. But my point to this all being is like, there's some people in this NBA, in this league that are like, I'm making my, 40 grand a year. I'm good if I take this playoff. It's not, the mindset isn't exactly like that, but it's more like, I'm good if I take tonight off. I need to keep my body good for the big game on Sunday. And it's like, that's just not the mentality in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's true.
And it just makes it so much more fun. So like take away everyone's money and give it to me.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The Kings should sign Kelsey Plum. Honestly, I'd rather have Veronica Burton.
Dog. Showtime says nothing on Schroeder, Westbrook, or Kuminga so far. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the Kuminga thing where like it may take a little while. And there was talk that the Pelicans could have interest, Miami, Chicago, and Sacramento. And we don't know anything.
Yeah.
The only thing we've heard with the Kings is that they're meeting with Schroeder and Westbrook over Zoom. And then Fred Katz said Schroeder agrees to a deal with Sacramento. Nothing else. And so I think we're just kind of waiting around to see how this is all unfolding. Like some additional movement has to take place. But hey, it's the start of free agency. It's day one. And these moves happen over like I mean, it's pretty much like the next week and a half. And then Summer League happens and it's pretty much dead. Like
Yeah. That's
because DeMar didn't happen on the first day of free agency last year.
yeah,
that-
California Classic.
July 6th. It was on Deuce Day.
Oh, Deuce Day. I forgot.
My birthday.
Yes, of
I
course.
mean, everyone knows that's Deuce Day. I just want.
Yeah. No, I know. You're just stating a fact.
God, think about that time a year ago.
What a fun birthday for you. You're calling a game with Mark Jones. on ESPN.
And then Not Like Us hits, and here comes DeMar DeRozan, and we're like, our lives have changed forever. We got 50 wins coming. Can you believe it? This is going to be, I mean, look, I like Harrison, but like, they need another guy that can go get a bucket. DeMar's going to make them better. I know they're still flawed, but how are they? I mean, you look at last year, they were flawed, but they got better. I mean, they got won 50 games. And here we are a year later going, hey, do you think they get off DeRozan? Like, what?
And it's not, that's the thing. I think, well, I don't think I know. Some people are just so mean about it when they're like, you know, get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy. I respect these players as not only what they've done in the league, but what they can still do in this league. But the fit to what this roster is, one, you're not going to build around some of these guys. Like, it just doesn't make sense for the future. It doesn't make sense for that. Nothing. But two, it's like their talent would work better in a system that is already established or has an identity, so you fit them in, where they were trying to help create more of an identity. Or it was like, hey, we're going to play fast, but you're not a fast player, so hope you can try and do it. And it's like, oh no, we're going to let them play freely and play at their pace when they're in, but then they're going to play fast here. But then when this second unit comes in here, and it's just like, this is a clusterfuck. That's just not how it works.
You know, one day
Yeah.
it's going to turn. I tell this to fans all the time.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes I just say it because I have to say it to myself, is like, it's going to turn around one day. Actually, I was talking to Kevin Dana last night. He does broadcast work with the Valkyries and the Santa Cruz Warriors. He also does Golden State Warriors stuff. And he's a big Warriors guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the thing I just try to tell myself, Kevin, is it's not gonna be bad forever. I'm like, you guys missed the playoffs 17 of 18 years.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, I know. Like, he was like, yeah, it won't be bad forever. I'm like, I don't know if he's just trying to make me feel better. Like, he's consoling me right now.
He's such a sweet guy that it's probably like a little bit of both.
But I was like, okay, yeah. It's not going to be bad forever. And it won't be.
Yeah.
And I think in this league, it does change fast.
Yeah.
It's not going to be crazy. I don't anticipate like, oh my God, what a shocking year for the Kings next year. This was awesome. It's going to be a little bit here, and it's pains me to say it, but at some point you just have to embrace it for what it is. And with this team and being a sports fan in general, the highs feel so amazing. And what's crazy about being a Sacramento fan is you've never really, unless you grew up in the early 2000s, you never really experienced like the ultimate high, like when you think you have a chance for a championship. That playoff year, that season was the ultimate high, and it was like you just made the playoffs.
Yeah.
You just made
it. It's just the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and
that's teams like that's like their low expectations.
But how
around the
fun
league.
was that? That was such like that was probably the highlight, one of the highlights of my fandom.
I would do every year of that than every year of this.
Yeah.
And I think some people are like, but then you're just mid. You're not for Boston. If you're the Boston Celtics, if you're the New York Knicks, or I don't know, whoever else, where you've different expectations, long history of winning, sure, that's just not going to be good enough. When you're a small market team that has seen how many winning seasons in 40 years, 11, like, yeah, you would take a stretch of first round of playoffs for 4 years straight, and then you'd question or like, okay, when are we taking the next step? But appreciate it while it's there, because you could be here. You could be right here.
Well, and that's what I always reminded people that year, and I feel like people like made fun of it. I'm just like, enjoy this moment. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy this moment, because you don't know how long it will last. And I would never have predicted like it would only last that year, pretty much.
Yeah.
A little bit into the next year. But like that's where it went. And yeah, it'll turn one day, and it's going to be special, and we'll enjoy it. And so like even going forward, it's like you do have to try to enjoy the good moments that come in the season.
Yeah.
There are going to be moments this season where there's going to be a young player does something, and we're going to get really excited about it.
David says, I want to be mid, LOL. I'll take 6th seed every year. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. I'm just over here deep in thought thinking about,
What?
man, like I had to be born in Sacramento, huh? And be a Kings fan. It's crazy.
I mean,
But it's like, it's so like, and that's the other thing. The fans, like being a part of this fan base, it is a
it
special
wouldn't be the same
community.
everywhere.
No.
Like that's where you have to
No.
truly like it. Even with different expectations, sometimes it just becomes so, I don't know, feisty and just like it's a child's game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That is bringing us joy and bringing us all together. And I love my life and I love my city. So.
Modern Mexican says, you guys look so depressed. You know, I think partly is because we've been talking literally for 4 hours straight, high energy, and we're just like, okay. And I'm slightly hungry right now. I'm thinking about things, and then I'm like, okay, what is there's been nothing that's happened in the last like hour right now in the NBA. So we're just sitting here going, what is next? What is next? When's the Jaylen Brown, the Houston trade happening?
When the Jaylen Brown,
What are you gonna do when that happens?
we're gonna go on live again.
No, but what are you gonna? Are you going to acknowledge how like
We'll have to download the YouTube video.
play and be like, look what Deuce said.
He manifested this, and
Yeah.
it's like you couldn't manifest other things. Come on now.
I try to manifest like real things that could happen. You know, not like, oh my God, I envision the Kings are gonna get Giannis.
Yeah. No, that's
If
good.
that happened today,
then you manifest it,
what?
and then we go back.
What would you do? Would you cry?
No, but I would be.
I might cry.
Why? That wouldn't mean anything. It would just mean, yay! Like this
That's
is.
how broken you are.
Yeah, like-
you just said getting Giannis would not quote mean anything. End
wouldn't-
quote.
It would lead your team to wins,
Yeah.
and it would be fun, and that would be awesome, and I
Yeah.
would love that. But like ultimately, what are you doing around him to make him happy and actually keep him here, or do I have to go through the like sadness of like, oh no,
Okay, yeah, you're
you know what I
being
mean?
Yep.
The realistic,
Yep.
intrusive thoughts.
All right. We will wrap things up now. We'll be back live tonight. If anything big happens, we'll have content no matter what. We're going to be dropping another pod tonight, recapping the day, whether the Kings do something or not. We'll just recap kind of the day and like go over what went down.
Yeah.
But we're going to have you covered. So turn your notifications on so you
Yep.
know if we go live or we drop new content. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe. But seriously, thanks so much for hanging out with us for 4 hours as we just wait for shit to happen.
Yeah, and even after free agency stuff and everything else, like we will have content
Yep.
all throughout summer league and everything. So just like you said,
Summer League,
notifications.
WNBA, NBA,
We
Kings,
got you covered.
We're going to do
Basketball.
a ton. So we appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you, guys.
Make sure to leave comments after the show too. We love you guys, but we gots to go.
I wouldn't want to hang out with anyone else but all of you. So thank you. See ya.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.